Hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
We the GMS New Orleans, here to bring you a live camp. Prior to get started, we want to give infinite honors and prayers to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who taught us this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. You Akim, you Akwad, which is the brothers and sisters in the Hebrew that believe. All right, and for this camp lesson that we're about to do, we're going to start off dealing with humbling yourself down. All right, being a humble servant of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, because we ultimately know, being a humble servant of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, because we know on the other side of that spectrum is that the Lord, He hates pride. All right, so pride being the opposite of being prideful is the opposite of being humble. All right, and we know that the Lord doesn't deal with pride in any such way, But Bobby Kashar kicked me off with that Sirach. That's 3. Yeah, I've been told him to get it. You got it, but not get it.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 3, verse 18. Yes. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself.
The greater thy art, humble thyself. All right, and us coming, this wisdom and knowledge that has been given unto us, it's a gift from the Lord ultimately. All right, so in no way, shape, or form, that we boast above our brothers, lord over our brothers in any type of way, with the knowledge that the Lord has given us, because the Lord obviously gave everybody their own portion, to grow how they need to grow. And that's just ultimately, it's not being a good brother at the end of the day. All right. And we know that the Lord didn't have to do this. All right. So knowing that the Lord didn't have to do it and he still did it at the end of the day, that should make you humble yourself down. All right. And you can look through the accounts that of Yahweh Shai when he walked, his whole entire walk in that regeneration was being humble. All right. Washing the disciples' feet. In many other matters that happened. The Lord came through and showed himself to be a perfect brother and humbling himself. And again, he didn't have to do that because that is our Lord. All right? You want to say something? Oh, come on. Bob, hit me with the...
That's
what go ahead.
Back up what you should.
Come on.
This is back in Sirach, chapter 3, verse 18. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself. And thou shalt find favor before the Lord.
Thou shalt find favor before the Lord. All right, we got elders and apostles that's been pushing in this thing for 20, 30 years. All right, and again, they could have took a higher route and not wanted, not even a higher route. It could have been just a completely disrespectful type of way and just kept that knowledge to themselves. But what they've been doing, they've been breaking bread with us, giving us games, showing us the scriptures. Giving us the route that they went through and giving us tips and things, for us to grow. All right. But again, evil man and what Jake's typically do in this world, when they get these type of riches, they keep it to themselves. All right. That next man, they mindset is that next man got to figure out how I figured it out. I did it by myself. You do it by yourself. But that's not the case here. All right. We're brothers and we're building each other up, all, with humbleness, but kicking with that.
If I can say real quick, because that's like you said earlier, that's the mindset of Yahweh Shai. He could have kept everything to himself.
Right.
He could keep the kingdom to himself.
Right.
But he said, I'm going to share it with y'all. So us coming in that same form, in the same spirit, our minds is towards the same thing that the Lord wants, to share. Right? To share the wisdom and knowledge that we've been given, to help brothers, build brothers up, learn brothers, Mm-hmm. You got it.
You say you got a precept to back it up.
This Philippians chapter 2, verse. You got that, brother?
Yeah.
Bring it out.
Bring it out.
Go ahead, bring it out, brother. Get it in the NLT back, Baba Kashar.
What's it, Philippians
2 and 5. It says, let this mind be in you, which was also in Hamashiach Yahushua, who being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God, but made himself, it's the point, but made himself of no reputation. And took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men. And being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even to the death of the cross.
And this is what it says in the NLT. It says Philippians 2, And well, you started at 6, you said?
5.
5. So like Philippians 2 and 5.
The point is in 7. I just read, 5 because it said, let this mind be in you.
Come on. This is Philippians 2 and 7. And Philippians 2 and 7. It says, instead, he gave up his divine privileges. He took the humble position of a slave and was born as a human being when he appeared in a human form. He humbled himself in obedience to Yahweh Shem Yahushua and died a criminal's death on the cross. All right? And again, and brother could get Matthew, I think it's Matthew 26. I just had it. Matthew 26 and 53. Because again, the Lord being on the cross, that gruesome death that he went through, he really didn't have to go through that. We talking about our Lord and Savior, man, who was made identical to our ultimate power, Yahweh. All right, but God, hit me with that Matthew.
It's Matthew 26 and 53. It says, thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels?
Yes.
But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled that thus it must be?
God. So the Lord was on a mission when he came through, man. So on that mission, he kept his mind and his direction on the goal that he needed to do. All right. And he said that he could have sent a legion of angels down here, if you really wanted to. And if I'm not mistaken, if you go a little bit up, that's the account where I believe Peter had slashed one of the soldiers' ears. Something, of that matter, me roughly paraphrasing, but it's a little bit up, But basically, he was telling, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's Peter, but that was Judas.
Talking about Judas betraying.
Yeah, but nonetheless, that's not really important, But ultimately, he was just trying to calm him down in the situation to let you know, like, man, like, I could really have all these dudes killed if I really wanted to, But again, he kept the first thing first was the mission, for him to fulfill the scriptures, of his return, But Bobby Kashah, let's get in that Jeremiah.
This is Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 23. Thus saith the Lord, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches.
That's the first verse?
Yes, sir.
Come on. Read it one more time. And just stop at the end again.
This is Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 23. Thus saith the Lord, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches.
Because ultimately, why? Because it's a gift from the Lord anyway. All right? The Lord gives you that wisdom. The Lord gives you that strength. The Lord gives you that money. If that's your lot for you to grow in that way. It's all of the Lord. So you don't take pride in that in any type of way. All right? We keep going.
Verse 24. But let him that glorieth glory in this, that the Lord which exercised loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth, for in these things I delight, said the Lord.
Come on. So we glory in the Lord at the end of the day. All right? Because we know that these gifts, could be taken away at any moment. All right? Any moment, all this could be crashing down. The Lord could get rid of you if he wanted to. So while he's giving you these gifts, he's giving you this opportunity to serve him. You give all praises to the Lord. All right? Come on. But, if you want to boast in anything, again, what was the point of that precept, man? You boasting to the Lord, man. All right? But any brothers got precepts?
Yeah, I got one.
Come on. You can get it real quick. Right,
This is Proverbs. This is Proverbs chapter 18, verse 12. Before destruction, the heart of a man is hardy, and before honor is humility. So just backing up the point, like, it's an honor, like the brother went into, for the Lord to die for our sins. So he was humble in that point,
Yeah.
And just like he was saying, the Lord could take away what he give us. So it would behoove you to be humble and not boast, on your own self, because we gave ourselves nothing. We didn't even wake ourselves up in the morning.
You want to say
Yeah,
something?
if I could see, because Howard Shah, he was imagine being the son of the Most High,
Yep.
and then having to be ridiculed by these people, put on a cross, crucified by these people, man. That was like the humility, and that's what we go through right now. We going through the humiliation ritual right now. But that was a form of humiliation. But he went through it and he got through it, and then the honor was given to him because now he's sitting at the right hand of the Most High, man,
Right.
waiting to come back and deliver his brothers. What you got to do?
God, and beautiful point. That's the same thing of us, picking up our cross and following Yahweh Shemel Shah.
Yeah, you got to.
We gotta bear our cross. You could get that too, Brother Shah. We gotta bear our cross. The Lord went through it, we gotta go through it. The servant is not greater than his master, which the brother's gonna get. But ultimately, whatever, comes upon us, we take it cheerfully. We take it cheerfully, and we still give thanks to Yahweh Shemel Shah, regardless of the situation that we go through. All right, because we know at the end of the day, whatever that situation is meant to happen, and whatever it is, the Lord has some type of end goal of that, whatever's coming to pass. Something, either you're going to grow stronger, you want to teach somebody else a lesson, you're going to learn a lesson in the midst of it. It might put you in a better situation. The Lord is all about, we spoke about it yesterday, the Lord is all in the business of breaking you down and building you up. All right, we talk about the analogy with the muscles. If you ever want to get strong with anything, you got to break your muscles down. Then your muscles going to regenerate and it's going to build up stronger. All right, and it's crazy enough. I was watching a video on that, and just how incredible the human body is. It's like micro cuts that you put through your muscles, but when your muscles come back and it sends, I forget the name of it, but it sends whatever it is to come and heal those muscles. They overcompensate, and that's how your muscles grow stronger. They don't put just enough to heal it. They put more than enough for you to get stronger. And that's what the Lord does to us, But you got your precept touched up.
Okay. Galatians chapter 6 and verse 3 says, "For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceives himself." So, that's why we know, just like said about pride, being humble, and also, try to, we know that wisdom puffs up, so we got to always remember our place, that we got to become a servant, of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. So we know that Yahweh Shai set the blueprint for how us, to show us how to walk and how to, perform, in His gospel, and one thing about we got to remain humble. Lord, He said He's going to lift us up in due season. So that's why, we can't think ourselves, more than others. No one is greater than the master. You got it again, man.
God. And trust me, with this wisdom and knowledge that we have, we know that we know more than the 2/3. We know more than the heathens. All right, and we're going to show it. But ultimately, again, we know at the end of the day, just because we have this wisdom and knowledge, that doesn't mean that we're chosen. All right, it doesn't mean that we're chosen just yet. Yeah, we walk in the right path, and we're doing everything that the Lord told us to be doing, to the best of our ability. But it's no need to fully boast until the game is over. Once we in the chariots and we sitting with the Lord, all right, that's the time for us to rejoice. But from this time, just keep your head down, keep working, all right? Win the battles that you can win. And again, boast that you know the Lord at the end of the day, But let me get this Sirach real quick. It was 10 and I believe it was 7. Pride is hateful.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 7. Pride is hateful before Yahweh Shemel Shai and man, and by both doth one commit iniquity.
You commit iniquity by having pride. All right, the Lord has no dealings with men with pride. All right, because what's a person with pride? That's somebody that's hard-headed. All right, they don't think that they could be touched. They don't think they could be taught. All right, they don't think they think themselves to be greater than everybody else, and therefore they don't need to put no effort. That's why pride is going to be the fall of many of these niggas. That's preaching His word. All right, we got these other camps again, which we don't really get into. in all the bullshit and folly that they do. But some of these things is just noticeable that you just can't ignore. All right, you got people coming down in a Passover riding on a horse, you know, and so on and so forth. All these other things that they put themselves on a pedestal that they really truly don't deserve. All right, the Lord tells us that our righteousness is filthy rags. All right, so if we know that our righteousness is filthy rags, what makes you think that you're supposed to ride in any type of holy event, you know, according to the scriptures, on a horse for you to be higher than everybody else? You know, like you coming through like you the king of Israel. You know, and it just doesn't make sense. All right, that's why the Lord definitely got to put 2/3 of you niggas down. All right, and those 2/3 again, it consists of niggas that don't know what's going on, and niggas that don't give a fuck what's going on, and niggas that know what's going on but they choose to do wrong. You know, and that's why they need to be put down. You know, you want to say something?
I was gonna say like the greatest example that we have today is like Esau Edom. He's the proudest man on earth, and the Lord's gonna destroy him and give him a great downfall. And you see how he's going out right now.
Yeah,
The most proud.
yes, the most proud.
Yeah, you got it, brother.
All right, this is James chapter 4, verse 6. But he giveth more grace. Wherefore he said, God resisted the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. And that's just plain and simple. You know, God resisted the proud. So why be proud? Like, you want the Lord to resist you? That don't make sense.
Right. Then it says about giving grace to the humble.
He giveth grace unto the humble.
God. So he giving grace to the humble, you know, and that's what we in right now. We in a grace period right now. All right. So if you're in that grace period and you're trying to prove yourself into the Lord, you know, that's telling you right there that you don't want to have any pride in any type of way, because that's gonna mess up your opportunity. All right. So if you're humbling yourself down, that's how you're able to have the Lord deal with you. That's how you're able to let the Lord come and sup with you. All right. Because again, the Lord is not dealing with niggas at the end of the day. All right. He's dealing with humble men that's willing to put their life on standby just to do His work, to announce, you know, His return, to do His will at the end of the day. You know. But
Yeah, if I could say, because it said that he resisted the proud. And it only makes sense because when you become proudful, that's basically like you casting the Lord behind you and saying, I could do this on my own. Like I don't need the Lord.
Right.
Right? So you resisting the Lord in a way. As opposed to the humble, what a humble says, okay, I'm gonna lean on the Lord, because Yahweh coming back looking for the faithful servants.
Right.
So I would do this to serve. When you become proudful, you serve your own self. You don't serve the Lord. You got it.
I'm gonna make a point real quick. In that next verse, it back the brother up. And in the very next verse, it says, "Submit yourselves therefore to God." So, to be humble is an attribute of submission.
Submit. Yeah. Get it on the ETY. It's like make your point again.
Oh, now I was just saying. It says, "Submit yourselves therefore to God." So that's an attribute of being humble. You know, being submissive. And who else to submit yourself to but the Father who created you and gives you grace, because that's the only thing that get us by in these times for sure.
And if I can say too, to back you up, brother, again, you know, brothers gotta know that the Lord refers us to delicate women. All right. And that's the most beautiful thing for, you know, which we don't see in this world right now. You know, how the daughters of Israel has just completely just went off and succumbed to this evil doctrine and, you know, stupid wine that Esau Edom has put on our people, you know, believing that they could be an independent, bad bitch. You know, they could do all the things for themselves. They don't need no nigga. They don't need this. They don't need that and the third. All right. But if you ever, at this point in time, and you see a woman that's really ready to submit to you, that's like a gold mine. Like, damn, where the hell this come from? I never really experienced this before. But again, that's how the Lord looks upon us. You know, everybody else out being harlots, you know, out doing all the things of their lust, of their flesh. But we're trying to show the Lord that we're ready to submit to you, Lord. You know, we ready for this wedding to start, and for you to come down and come back and return to us, Lord. But get that submit for me, Baba Show.
Yeah, I got that word. Yeah, this is the word submit on the online etymology. It says to place oneself under the control of another, right? Yield oneself become submissive, to yield, lower, let down, put under, reduce.
Man, that's smoke. You hit that beginning again? Yeah, the couple.
Place oneself under the control of another.
Place thyself under the control of another. All right, and who are we placing, ourselves under control? Yahweh Bashim Yahushua.
Yeah.
All right, everything that we're doing, we just trying to follow and do everything to the best of our ability, to show the Lord, man. That's our whole purpose here, is to show the Lord, do His work, and show that there are humble servants here, when He returns. And brothers, we get that in Matthew too. That's one of my favorites. We always go into with the many stripes, but it go up a little bit more, like 3 or 4 verses. We're gonna talk about that servant that prepared the it was preparing the house. But brothers, about to say something?
I got that. That's all I
We're gonna hit that and then we're gonna come back down.
All right. This Proverbs chapter 20, verse 24. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way?
Yeah, you gotta know that, man, because again, man's going is of the Lord. Everything that we do is the Lord directing our paths. All right. So, and what He do? They got the other one too, that take away pride from man. I think brothers kind of.
Yeah, that's I think that's I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Bible construct. Basically to erase the pride from man. That's the purpose of the Lord directing our paths.
30, I think it's 30 years.
Trying to get there real quick.
Yeah.
Back up the point.
It's 33 and 15. Yeah, I had
Yeah.
I got a quick.
I got it.
Go ahead.
This is go ahead, brother.
This is Job 33 and 15. I'll start at 14. It says, for the Most High speak it once, yet twice, yet man perceiveth it not. In a dream and a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon the bed, then He openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instruction, that He may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man.
To hide pride from man. There go that word pride again. All right, but what that's going into is that's how you move on your everyday life. Believe it or not, But it's thus saith the Lord in the scriptures. All right, but when you go to sleep, the Lord put those directions in your head and everything that you're going to do the next day. All right, that's going to either on a good note, keep you alive for the entire day. You're going to walk around and do all the things and avoid death, avoid stupid situations, or it might be on a worst case scenario that you may walk into your death, because the Lord, he controls both sides of the spectrum. He controls life and He controls death. All right. So again, that's something you got to know. But the Lord does that to erase pride, what brother just said, because how would Jake feel knowing that they had that self-control, that self what's the word? It's like self-will, free will. That's the word. Yeah, free will. If Jake had free will, man, there'd be some big-headed niggas around here to know that they don't need the Lord, and that doesn't make sense, because the Lord telling us to call on Him, run to that strong tower, do everything that's pleasing. If that everything that you're doing, and all of a sudden you don't need the Lord, that just cuts the Lord off, and that causes confusion at the end of the day. All right, you don't need the Lord, and it's people that really truly believe that. They believe that once the Lord was put on the cross and that He died, that was it. You can run rapid, do what you want, live your best life, but ultimately that's just a wicked doctrine from the devil. Do as Thou wilt.
But even then, with that case, the Lord literally deceived those people to believe that anyway.
Right.
So it's like He really that backs it up. You don't have no control of yourself. That's what you think.
God, beautiful point that you brought out, brother, because people don't like to hear it, but they got a lot of niggas, a lot of heathen that's on the Lord's hit list. All right, so he's choosing, your delusions right now. He's putting you in your own little world, so you don't see Him coming. So He could come in and fuck you over at the end of the day. You know, like again, I just said that the Lord, he's dealing with everything with life and death. All right, but with that, he's setting people up sometimes, bro. Not sometimes, all the time. The Lord has 100% kill rate. So if he's wants somebody dead, he's going to kill you. All right, he's going to set it up perfect. You know, the perfect way that, you know, when brothers get to the kingdom and we see how some people was killed and so on and so forth and all these other things that we are probably going to be able to see in the kingdom, you could see how intricate the plot was. You know, you could probably see where this person started off at some point of the day, what pissed him off, you know, what a demon jumped on him and all of a sudden met him at this point, and so on and so forth. Intricate. Everything is an intricate plot dealing with the Lord. You know? John, go ahead.
This Psalm 68 and 20. It says, he that is our power is the power of salvation.
Mm-hmm.
And unto the Most High, unto Yahweh the Lord belong the issues from death.
Come on. Read that last part again. Unto the Lord.
Unto the Most High the Lord belong the issues from death.
The issues of death. All right. You know, backing up the point of the Lord having 100% kill rate. You know, you can't get nothing past the Lord. All right. Nobody that got grazed by a bullet. You know, if you got grazed by a bullet, you was meant to be grazed. You know, you was meant to be spared at that point in time. All right. You was probably warned in some type of way. You know, but you know some people that just ended up children too. You know, if you just end up dying some type of way, getting ran over, getting shot, get caught in a fire, you know, all these things that may happen, you know, with dealing with death, the Lord did it. You know, from the smallest things, from a bug getting ran over, from a bird getting killed, to roadkill, armadillos getting ran over in the street. You know, all of these things are just meant to happen. You know, it's all on the Lord's time at the end of the day. But you got
Yeah. This Ecclesiasticus chapter 7, I'm going to start at 16, point at 17. Number not thyself among the multitude of sinners, but remember that wrath will not tarry long. Verse 17, humble thyself greatly, for the vengeance of the ungodly is fire and worms. So he's telling you, like, humble yourself. Well, the issues of that is the Lord. Like, humble yourself because the vengeance of the ungodly is fire and worms.
and it's a scary thing to fall in the hands of the Lord. You know, you don't ever want to fall into the hands of the Lord when it comes to things like that. You know, because the Lord could really, he could really, he sends those warnings. You know, even to his own men, to his prophets of, hey, you're doing wrong right now. You need to chill out before I really put my hands on you. You know, but the Lord does many things that's going to strike that fear in you of like, oh shit, like it doesn't take long for a wise man to catch the signs from the Lord to be like, all right, I know I was fucking up right here, and I know that whatever the Lord just did right here was a warning. All right, so let me get my shit together. Let me get straight. You know, so the Lord can spare me. You know, but you said you got a precept to touch that?
Oh yeah, let me get this one right quick. It says here, Proverbs chapter 8, verse 13. It says, the fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the forward mouth do he hate. So, you know, the fear of the Lord, you know, it pretty much is the beginning of wisdom. And also, you know, the one that has it is, you know, is the one that is humble, you know, in the sight of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? You got to depart from evil. You got to walk right. You got to speak right. You know what I'm saying? Let the Lord lean on the Lord, you know, for understanding. You know, a lot of our people right now are very prideful. You know, that do thy will spirit. You know, they don't fear the Lord. The only one that fear the Lord is the humble. You got it, man.
God, again, like brother just said, only the humble is the only people that fear the Lord.
That's it.
All right. And what is fear according to the scriptures? You know, fear is following the law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability, and also that fear is the beginning of His love. All right. So if you want to show the Lord that you love Him, you know, show that fear. You know, we just went into that word of submit. You know, to lower yourself. You know, that's how you show the Lord that you love Him. You submit to Him. You follow everything that He's telling you to do. You're following your Lord's will at the end of the day.
Point real quick.
Yeah.
It says the meek shall inherit the earth.
That's it.
So you know you have to be humble and lowly.
That's it.
He said you can't inherit the kingdom unless you be transformed, as children. So children don't have pride. They can't have pride. They know they have people that's over them, parents that provide and protect and provide shelter and all this. And so how much more us to the Lord,
Come. And I believe what you talking about, that's the account with Nicodemus.
I could get the precept.
Yeah. I believe it's with Nicodemus because he didn't understand that parable that the Lord said, you have to
Be reborn.
It's Matthew chapter 18, verse 3. And said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Wait, what you at again?
Matthew chapter 18, verse 3.
18 and 3?
Yeah. I can go.
No, that's it. Read it again, Bob.
I can go up 2 more verses. Matthew chapter 18, verse 1. At the same time came the disciples unto Yahushua, saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?
Mm-hmm.
And Yahushua called a little child unto him and set him in the midst of them. Chapter 18, verse 3. And said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Yep.
I'm gonna go down another verse, chapter 4, verse 4. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as the little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven.
Read one more, read 5.
Verse 5. And whoso shall receive one such little child in the name receiveth me.
But again, the point was for you to humble yourself down as a little child. All right, because again, you was going into it. The children at that early age, they're obedient. All right, they're obedient because they know nothing else. They don't know how to go off. They at the stage where they don't really know how to lie yet. All of these things, all they know is what to do, and they be willingly wanting to do it.
Naturally submissive.
Yes, brother. But
Pure innocence.
Pure innocence. It ain't till they get older and have learned all these wicked things and wicked doctrines and what they see at school, what they see on TV, what they hear on music that start making them go off. Right. Then they start having their mind rebuilt by the things of the world. All right. But if we know that if at the beginning as a child growing up, if his mind was on nothing but the scriptures, he'll be great at the end of the day because that's all he knew. All he knew was the scriptures. All he knew was staying in line. You got it, bro.
This is Romans chapter 12, verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your minds, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
That's the perfect will of Yahweh Shema Shai, the renewing of your mind. All right, to have everything that you once knew at the beginning that had no benefits to you, for you to mentally dump that shit, get rid of that. All right, and do everything again that's pleasing to the Lord. What it said, the acceptable will
in Romans.
Yeah.
And be not conformed to this world,
Yep.
but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
Being not conformed to this world, because again, what it says, that the friend of this world is an enmity.
Is enemy of God.
Is an enemy of Yahweh Shema Shai, or enmity, as well. I believe that's two different precepts.
It's two different, the same thing.
Yeah, but it's talking the same thing, and that's what you don't want to be. You don't want to be an enemy of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, so that'll behoove you to get in line, get on track, to have your mind renewed, being under wise men that's teaching these words, humbling yourself down. Because again, you can see different accounts, even ourselves, that men that still believe that they know more than the elders and apostles. These men can't teach me nothing. Why would I listen to them? All right, or even in the other situations that it's older men that they can't take younger men having the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You too young. Why am I supposed to be learning from you? I'm your elder. But that's not the case, Just because you're older than me, that doesn't mean anything. All right? Spiritually, I'm older than you. I've been in this truth. I've been taught these things from my elders and apostles. I know this word, But, some niggas just don't get it, man. God, let me see. You got something? Yeah, go ahead, Benav.
Come back down. Just kind of backing up the point, us receiving a word, like we have to. You kind of made a point earlier about renewing our minds and like kind of taking out all the stuff that's in the world.
Yeah, brain dumping.
Yeah, this kind of backs it up. This is 1 Peter 2:2. As newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word that ye may grow thereby. Okay. Basically, we got to go and humble ourselves and become as little children unto the Lord. Just have a fresh canvas for the Lord to go and instill His wisdom onto us.
Hold Proverbs 16 and 25 for me. But you know that sincere milk, you know, that the brother went into. You know, that's how you grow in the scriptures. You know, that's basically the basics. All right, knowing of the basics. But many people in the world, you know, these Bible scholars and everything, they don't even have the basics. All right, and that's how you grow. You know how you don't have the necessities for you to be able to become a wise man. You know, like you want to get straight to the meat of the matter of things, but you don't want to start, you know, where everybody else starts. You know, that's not humbling yourself. That's a way that's going to get you killed at the end of the day. You know, again with that analogy, you want to go straight with meat, you know, and you just a newborn babe that ain't got no teeth in your mouth. So the first thing, once you eat that whatever meat that they're going to give you, you're going to choke. You're not going to be able to digest anything. You're just immediately going to choke because you're doing something that's above your class, you know, above your line of work at that point in time, you know. So you start from there and then you build up. That's another example of humbling yourself. You want to say something?
I was going to say, like, backing it up, like, you can't fast forward through the process. You have to actually, like, let it play out and go through it. That's like with the movie. You can't just fast forward to the movie and expect to know what it's about.
Right.
You gotta go and play it through from the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's just like with life, bro.
Yeah.
We can't be a baby and fast forward to being an adult, bro.
Right.
You gotta go through the ages and the stages to get there.
Yeah. You know, and we went into that lesson a little while ago, trusting the process. Yeah. You know, trusting that the Lord is what He's doing for you. You know, He's giving you this milk. You know, He's feeding you bit by bit. You know, from the elders and apostles, which they do. You know, they don't just, whenever we go through our teachings and our learnings from the elders and apostles, they don't just throw something to knock us over the head immediately. You know, they've been building us up through the scriptures that, okay, when we see it, it's like, oh, okay, I can refer to this. I can refer to that. All right, all of these things that's being spoken of, you know, I have a little bit of knowledge of what's going on with it. So it's not going to bust me in my head and it's not going to make me choke when I try to digest it. All right, I've already been practicing with these things, you know. But you said you got a precept?
Yeah. This Ecclesiasticus chapter 3. I'm gonna start at 17. The point is in 21 though. This Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 17. My son, go on with thy business in meekness, so shalt thou be beloved of him that is approved.
So like, go ahead, read it again.
My son, go on with meekness. My son, go on with thy business in meekness. So shalt thou be beloved of him that is approved.
God, you know, that meekness, you know, another example of humbling yourself down, another way of submission, you know, like you said, the meek shall inherit the earth, you know. So that's how you read the last part again.
So shalt thou be beloved of him that is approved.
God, that thou should be loved of him that is approved. All right. And all we're trying to do is just please Yahweh Shema Shai at the end of the day, man. All right, so He's given us a play-by-play, step-by-step booklet of what you need to do to please Him. All right, and that's plain and simple. That's all the scriptures is. Well, it's that along with history and so on and so forth. But it's a manual. It's a Israelite, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. It's a Israelite manual of how to carry yourself. You know, knowing the history of things and how to please the Lord. That's it. But go ahead.
Verse 18, the greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord.
Kind of came out again. Yeah, you just started one up high.
Yeah. Verse 19, many are in high place and of renown, but the mysteries are revealed unto the meek.
God, the mysteries are revealed unto the meek. All right. Again, I mentioned earlier, that's how you get the Lord to sup with you. Because if the Lord is not supping with a prideful nigga, He's not going to teach you anything. All right, He's not going to sup with you and give you no type of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right, but if you humble yourself down, you're meek, and what it says, when he knock on that door and you open up to him in your mind, then he's going to sup with you and give you everything that you need to know.
Verse 20. For the power of the Lord is great, and he is honored of the lowly.
So like, where you at again? So like,
Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 20.
Let me see real quick.
I want to see it in another version. Read it again.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 20. For the power of the Lord is great, and he is honored of the lowly.
God, he is the power of the Lord is great, and he's honored of the lowly. All right. So this is the perfect time to be that lowly. You've never probably heard that ever in your life. To be low, to be humble, to be a good servant. That's the meaning of life right now. All right. Not to be a millionaire, billionaire, or running this and that and the third, generational wealth, starting this business, starting this and that, all of these things that have nothing profitable behind it. All right. But being a servant, being a brother, doing all of these things, this is the best thing that you could ever be doing on this planet Earth right now, until the Lord comes, You got more?
Yeah, and this is the last one. Verse 21. Seek not out things that are too hard for thee, neither search the things that are above thy strength.
Come. Yeah. Seek nothing. Read that. Seek nothing above your strength. Read that again.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 21. Seek not out things that are too hard for thee, neither search the things that are above thy strength.
Come. You don't, at that point in time, you don't need to know it. All right. So that's plain and simple. You're seeking things that's above your pay grade at the end of the day. All right. Stick to what you're learning. Stick to what you know, and you build in that way. You build and you do everything step by step. You don't just jump, like the brother said. You don't just jump straight to the end of things. Because now you don't know what happened all through this. Through the prior things that you've probably seen. It's a process. You want to say something?
I want to say, like, I think elders used to say this before, like, try not to be too deep, just be one deep.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Try not to be too deep. Or say it again.
Yeah, try not to be too deep, just be one deep.
Yeah. What they got the what is this? An acronym when it's I believe it's called an acronym, but keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, KISS.
KISS method. Yeah, the KISS method. Keep it simple. All right. That's the business that we in right now.
All right. Make it plain.
Make it plain upon tables. That he that made they may read it could run. Bobby Shaw, get that.
That's it. Yeah. I got one too.
Con. But damn.
That's it.
I lost my train of thought. Trying to speak it up on that point. Yeah, get that that's gonna spark it back up again. God. Yes, brother. I know it. Once I hear that precept, it's gonna bring it back.
This Habakkuk 2:2, straight to the point. And the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it.
God, make it plain upon tables. Like the brother said, you're not trying to be too deep in this thing. All right. So with the simplicity of things, that's the basics. That's the foundation. All right. That's how you build up with things. We've been talking about that building. All right. So that foundation that you're building on from the simplicity, that's going to lead to greater things as you continue. All right. Because now after you start from the basics, you get advanced, then I don't know the exact ways, but advanced, intermediate, and then you become ultimately at the end a master. And once you're able to master your craft, now you're damn near up there with the wise, the elders and apostles, over the years, But brothers don't come in this thing as a first learning this thing of like, oh, all right, I know enough. Let me just be an elder now. That comes with time. That comes with time, and that comes with work, man.
Experience.
With experience. Yes, brother. Yes.
Get that hands on.
Yeah,
I try it out
too on that Habakkuk 2.
Yeah.
Because it says, and make it plain upon tables. Alright. And what goes on the table with what you consume, the food and everything you consume.
That's it.
Alright, so we talked about the not being able to eat the steak when you're a baby. You gotta desire the milk. This is Hebrews 5:13. It says, for everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But strong meat belongeth to them that are full of age,
Yes.
even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil.
Yes. Read that
Which one, 13 or 14?
the beginning when you talked about the meat, basically of age.
Yeah. Verse 14, but strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age.
That are of full age. You know, again, backing up what we was talking about with the newborn baby. All right, when you're of full age and now you start to have your teeth. Now you know how to chew. All right, you know that. All right, it's a bone right here. Let me spit that out because that bone has no benefits for me. All right, let me get the nutrients that I need. All right, why the milk is so simple is because all you have to do is digest it, swallow it. You know, it's liquid. You know, as soon as you put your head back, it's going to come down. You know, but with meat, as soon as you put your head back, you ain't chew. You gonna choke. You gonna choke and die. You're not gonna know what to do. You know, you want to spit it up. You know, so
I was gonna say you can't chew a steak if you don't even have teeth.
right.
You don't even got teeth.
He
So how you gonna be able? How can you discern? All right, both good and evil.
Mhm.
You ain't got no teeth.
Right. Yeah, it makes no sense. But Bobby Shot, hit me with that Ciroc I told you. Was that Ciroc?
Yeah, you said so, right?
It was Ciroc, and then we're gonna get you talking about
Okay.
Ciroc 32 and 7. You're gonna read down to 9.
This is Sirach chapter 32, verse 7. Speak, young man, if there be need of thee, and yet scarcely when thou art twice, and yet scarcely when thou art twice asked. Verse 8, let thy speech be short, comprehending much in few words.
Stop right there. So, comprehending much in few words. All right. So when you're in the surroundings of your teachers, your elders, and apostles, you know the older brothers that have that wisdom and knowledge. All right. You're trying to listen more. You're trying to comprehend more. All right. Not trying to be combative. Not trying to show yourself that you know more, or you show that you're on the same level as them, and you know that you could do it too. No, the point of being a student, of being a servant, is that you have to listen. All right, they got a little bit more in that.
Back in Sirach 32, verse 8, let thy speech be short, comprehending much in few words.
Mm-hmm.
Be as one that knoweth, and yet holdeth his tongue.
Hit 9.
Verse 9, if thou be among great men, make not thyself equal with them.
Mm-hmm.
And when ancient men are in place, use not many words.
Yeah. So again, another form of humbling yourself down. All right. If the elders and apostles was to come down here any type of way, when they speaking and they teaching about something, it's not really much I want to say. I want to hear. I want to hear these things so I can take in the information, so I can grow. With the information that you give me. All right. Tell me more. I want to sit here and listen. All right. That's the position that you want to be in. But let me get Taj's document. You got it, Taj's document.
Okay. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 58. It says, therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as so much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. So, that's what we got to do. Remain humble, stay, steadfast, constantly endure. You know what I'm saying? Your labor love, this gospel is not in vain. Even though we might be in a lower state right now, might be going through certain things, but we're going through those levels of adversity, So don't think it's a strange thing when you're going through something. The Lord, your labor love is not in vain. The Lord's constantly, increasing us, constantly building us up to that fine goal, that's what we're gonna become, the elect. And also, Yasserala, the Prince of the Power, we're getting close to that, we're getting ready to go through a transformation. So that's where we at right now, so the Lord is constantly, is increasing us, feeding us with this wisdom and this knowledge. So it's what we can grow by. That's what we're constantly doing. Growing, coming in them fine men to go, You got it, man. You got it, man. Thank you, sir.
You got it, brother.
Yeah, this James 1, This James 1:19. It says, "Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath." And that's why we got 2 ears and 1 mouth, man.
Yeah.
We need to listen more than we speak.
Definitely. You know, plain and simple. You know, you got it, your mind.
This just backing up kind of both points, you know. Concerning the elders, you got to be humble when receiving this knowledge, you know, from a man that's over you. This is Ecclesiasticus 6:34. It says, "Stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise." So in order to receive and learn, you know, you got to keep your mouth quiet. You can't think yourself above another man. You know, you got to stand there and listen and be able to receive. Let me go to back up that point. Is
where you at?
I mean, Ecclesiasticus 6:34.
You got one that's similar to that. Let me see. Because I think we got a lot more. No?
What you talking about? Let's see the wild,
The doorsteps. Yeah. So like you got it. Right,
This Hebrews chapter 13 and 17. "Obey them that have rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls, and they that must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you."
You know that one of the points being in that is that they are watching for your souls. All right, that's a duty of a brother. All right, we watching out for each other. You know, so when it comes to things like this, if we're trying to give you game, we're trying to teach you this and that and the third, you know, it'll behoove you to just sit there and listen. All right, it's only going to do nothing but benefit you. All right, yeah, it's all right to ask questions. You know, ask questions if you don't understand something. You know, but the last thing you want to do is buck up. You know, you don't want to buck up and be a nigga at the end of the day and just do something that's just unprofitable. You know, that's going to cause more trouble than good. All right, the best way out of a lot of things, you know, is just to listen, take in the information, and grow that way. You know, but you see, you got another precept? Are you ready?
Nah, I mean,
Come.
I got that one you was talking about.
Yeah, get that for me, Bobby. Sure.
You was that in the
Come.
I was in Ecclesiasticus 6 and 13.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Oh yeah, it's down at the bottom.
Yeah, it's at the bottom.
32. Start at 32.
32.
Yeah.
This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 6, verse 32. "My son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught, and if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent."
Start right there. Get that word prudent from me, Bobby. Sure. It says, read one more time.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 6, verse 32. "My son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught, and if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent."
You know, it says if thou should be taught, if thou will apply thy mind, thou should be prudent. All right. And I don't know exactly what the word means, but I'm assuming that it's talking about growing at the end of the day.
Talking about having wisdom and foresight and all that.
Which is going to come at the end of sitting there learning. You know, but that was all they had on that definition.
Now they got more. That's the word prudent in the online etymology. It says wise, discerning, judicious. It says with knowledge. All right. It says knowing, skill, foreseeing. Yeah, and to see.
Yeah,
that's wisdom, discernment.
Yeah, wisdom and discernment. You know, everything. Again, what I just said. The benefits of being taught. You know, when you're taught and you sit there and listen, you're going to receive all of these things, you know, to grow. But you got it.
And not just taught by anybody, by the men of the Lord, the prophets.
Yes.
You know, we had to relearn what discernment is, what wisdom is, you know, through these scriptures.
Right. And be able, you know, to part of that discernment is spotting bullshit. You know, we can spot bullshit from a mile away because we're being taught the right way. You know, if you're being taught the wrong way, you know, it's easy for you to be fooled. You know, for somebody to take over your mind, and that's the last thing you want. You don't want a 2/3 nigga to hijack your mind and having you bugged out. You know, and now you believe in this, and you believe in all these other doctrines. You know, you believing in these other gods. You know, and that's going to lead to your death at the end of the day. But, go ahead.
You had a point, brother?
Hey, go ahead. You go ahead.
It's Ecclesiasticus chapter 6, verse 33. "If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding. And if thou bow thine ear, thou shalt be wise.
Con, plain. You can keep going.
Verse 34, stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise.
God, cleave unto him that is wise.
That's it.
You know, that's a heavy point right there. All right. If you cleave to somebody, you know, you stand by their side. You're doing everything to the best of your ability to hold on to whatever they're teaching you. All right. And that's how you want to be in this truth. You know, you don't want to be that dumbass that's just gonna walk away because you don't want to hear no more. You don't want to you don't want to learn no more. You know, that point in time that you're done with learning is going to be the start of your downfall. All right, because this truth you're going to constantly learn more and more and more. The elders and apostles, they always tell us these things, man. They've been in this thing so long, but they're still learning new shit. They're still learning more things. This is like a rabbit hole that just gets deeper and deeper and deeper with information. All right, a never ending. You know, and we're going to continue to learn more and more, even when we get to the kingdom. We're going to learn more and more and more. You know, from our Lord personally. You know, but
I guess so.
Con, we got a little bit more.
Yeah. Verse 35, be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. Verse 36, if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him,
Yeah.
and let thy foot wear the steps of his door.
Con, with the footsteps, let's read that part again.
Verse 36, and if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door.
This is what it says in the GNT. This is Sirach 6 and 36 in the GNT. It says, if you find someone with understanding, get up early to call on him, wear out his doorsteps with your visits. Devote all your time to studying the Lord's commands and thinking about them. He will give you the insight, wisdom you are looking for. All right? Because obviously we know that the Lord deals with men. You're not going to have this you're not going to learn this from nobody. You know, you're not going to learn these things on your own will. All right, even Yahweh Shai didn't learn these things on his own will. When he was a little child, you could get that account, Nahoya. Con. He was in the temples asking questions. You know, he was learning things. All right, but you see,
This Romans chapter 10 verse 15. And how shall they preach except they be sent?
There you go.
As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things. But the point was, how shall they preach except they be sent? Backing up the point the brother was making.
You got that, noise?
I can't. I think it's in Luke. I forgot where it's at.
You could go.
Okay.
Right now.
Yeah, it's something, you know, that y'all have been going into, you know, by bowing your head and, you know, listening at the prophet, the men that is over you, and that wisdom not going to, you know, deal with you if you got this right here. It said wisdom of Solomon. Hold on one moment. Wisdom of Solomon, got to have a little technical. See here, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4 and Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1, and verse 4.
21, 2 and 40.
Says Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1 and verse 4 said, unto a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin. So you coming in some other type of way, trying to get ahead and don't want to bow your head. So I don't need all of that, and I can just do my own thing. And that lone wolf spirit, I'm older than them, they younger than me, you know, because I'm about the oldest guy over here. But see, I already understood that you gotta bow your head when you're coming up on these wise men. You got a little bit more of it. It says, verse 5, it says, for the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit and remove from thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness comes in. So that's right there, plain and simple. You know, you got to get right. You don't get right, you don't get gone. You know, so you know you got to come humble. You got to be, you know, patient. You know, and grow. You know, with the sincere milk, and you know, and less words. You know, listen. You know what I'm saying? Soak up this knowledge. You got it.
Let's get that account.
This is Luke 2 and 41. I'll read 40. It says, and the child grew and waxed strong in spirit, filled with wisdom, and the grace of the Most High was upon him. Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover, and when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. And when they had fulfilled the days as they returned, the child Yahushua tarried behind in Jerusalem, and Joseph and his mother knew not of it. But they, supposing him to have been in the company, went a day's journey, and they sought him among their kinsfolk and acquaintance. And when they found him not, they turned back again to Jerusalem, seeking him. And it came to pass that after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the doctors, both hearing them and asking them questions. And all that heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers.
Yeah, read the 49.
Verse 48. And when they saw him, they were amazed, and his mother said unto him, Son, why hast thou thus dealt with us? Behold, thy father and I have sought thee sorrow. And he said unto them, How is it that ye sought me? Wish ye not that I must be about my father's business?
So at 12 years old, Yahushua was in the temples, asking questions and learning, and they was astonished. This is a 12-year-old boy that's understanding this information and is rebuttaling us, asking more things to learn more. And this was on a count of 3 days. Yahushua says Yahushua was missing for 3 days, in the midst of the doctors, pretty much the elders and apostles, learning, the scriptures, But what
I had some
yeah, get the mark for me, Bobby Show. But no, so like just to finish this point right here, that's we got examples for a reason in the scriptures, all right, of why you need to sit down and get understanding. Yahushua be an example here, and you got many more in the scriptures that you got men that's sitting there that's learning. All right, so again, you can't do this thing by yourself at the end of the day. You gotta really push that point in, But give me that mark.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 2, verse 22, red letter Yahushua. And no man putteth new wine into the old bottles, else the new wine doth burst the bottles, and the wine is spilled, and the bottles will be marred. But new wine must be put into new bottles.
And that's a parable right there. All right, because again, you got to know that the wine goes into the doctrine. All right, wine goes into the understanding. Different things for you to understand. All right, and that wine bottle that goes into a person. All right, so if it's an old wine bottle and it's new wine going into that old bottle, it's going to cause it to bust. All right, that means that person is not able to understand that information. All right, they're not understanding it. And again, it's like I'm running in circles with the words, but they can't understand the information. But the new wine has to go into the new bottle. All right, and when it goes into that new bottle, it's going to sit well. It's not going to bust. All right, that information is going to settle to somebody that
they can't contain. They can't contain that information.
But again, what you said, is that newborn babe, that babe, that child would understand, and that's that new bottle. All right, because the information that's going in, it's going to settle well for them.
Yeah, because they're a blank canvas. When you a child, you're a blank canvas. All right, but as opposed to an old bottle, that'd be like, you have older guys who stuck in their ways, and you can't tell them nothing about. You can't teach them a lot of older people. They be like they act like they know it all because they got the age. They got some years over you or whatever like that. They just an old bottle, so they can't get the new wine. It just don't mix. They stuck in their ways.
Right. And Jake used to, grew up believing these things. This was something that was just passed down, all through our entire families. All right. Just because it was your grandpa, if it was your uncle that was, 30, 40 years older than you, that whatever what came out of his mouth, you had to believe it, you have to obey it. All right, but now you get to the point where you get this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that I've been around many older men, and they speaking, and I'm just thinking in my head like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Like you sound stupid. You sound like a child right now. You know, but you know, you don't let them know these things sometimes. You know, you just go ahead and yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that. All right, and they got a lot to say, but you know, they don't have the knowledge of the scriptures. This is everything that you need to know. You know, this is everything that you need to know. So if they're not speaking in line of these scriptures, it's bullshit that's coming out of their mouth at the end of the day. And you know, you just gotta be able to have that skill to just cut your ears cut your ears off and just stop listening. You know, hear the words come. Listen to the womp. And once that womp stop, just nod your head and be like, oh, okay. Yeah, all right. But you
Yes, I got a head buster for you,
yeah,
brother.
he tweaking right now. So like, we gonna get
Head
the
buster, bro.
Go ahead.
This Job 32:7. I'm gonna start at 7. The point is in 9. It says, I said days should speak and multitude of years should teach wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding. All right. Verse 9, this is the point. Great men are not always wise, neither do the aged understand judgment. Because when in the world you used to think older men, especially if they had gray hair,
Right.
you would think they'll just have all this knowledge, they just knew everything and shit like that. You know, but the scriptures say, neither do the aged understand judgment, because they don't have the understanding of the scriptures, or the spirit. Through the spirit, the knowledge, wisdom, understanding of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. So you can be an old man and still know nothing. Well, they got people who are up in age and don't know how to read. Bro, I had great grandmas and all that. You know, they didn't know how to read, bro. So just your age don't make you wise or smart.
It's when you, like your brother said, it's when you come into these scriptures, you know, the renewing of your mind and your age starts then, you know. So
like Malachi 3:16.
Yeah, so basically, you know, like you start over once you come into the truth, you know. So if you come into the truth and you 50 years old, you a newborn baby at that point, spiritually, you know. But I got a precept too to back up the point the brothers was going into. This Hebrews chapter 5 verse 12. For when for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God, and are become such as have need of milk, and not of strong meat. Verse 13, for everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. Verse, it came out again. Yeah, Hebrews 5:13. Hebrews verse 14, for strong meat belongeth to them that are full age, and those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. So, you know, just bringing out the point again, like the brother said, he brought it out earlier, but it backs up the precepts he brought out. You know, you gotta start over.
But you gotta have your senses exercised. But with the knowledge and wisdom and understanding of the scriptures, because outside of that, you don't really know nothing.
Right. Get that Malachi from there. We're gonna come back down.
This Malachi 3:16. Then they that feared the Lord, Yahweh speak often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord, and that thought upon his name.
You read all the way to him.
And they shall be mine, said the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spared his own son that served him. Then shall ye return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth the Most High and him that serveth him not.
All right, and that's that book of remembrance. This book right here, the book of remembrance, you know, that the elders and apostles that they wrote, you know, through the inspiration of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right, but this book alone gives us those spiritual powers to be able to discern what it said at the end.
It says, between him that serveth, I'm just reading from the top. Then shall ye return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth the Most High and him that serveth him not.
You know, and again, what I just mentioned with the spiritual powers, the Lord has given us, you know, spiritual powers on lower levels, you would say, you know, not like Superman, type things, but the understanding. All right, the understanding that we have in the scriptures sets us apart so far away from a lot of people in this world. All right, and we have the power, obviously given from Yahweh Shemel Shah to use these things to be able to maneuver. All right, to spot bullshit. That's a gift in itself of being able to spot bullshit that's coming out of somebody's mouth. All right, and that comes from the word. All right, that comes from the scriptures. All right, that's why brothers gonna constantly tell you, man, you got to get in this book. You got to get in this book to build yourself up. All right, because the moment again, if you're not building yourself up, you're going to be fooled, man. You're going to be fooled of what's going on around this world, and you're going to be taken by this world. And once you're taken by this world, it's over. All right. So again, we're calling in for the elect. First and foremost, we're trying to seal that number. All right, but that's who this for. The 2/3 of our people, they're not gonna listen to it. All right, and it's damn sure not for the heathen. All right, but we know, we're trying to bring everything back in, man, to get out of here. Give the word out to who needs it right now, so the Lord can seal it and again make His return and come back and destroy this bitch. But you got to touch it up.
Nah, it's all right. Go ahead. It'll pass.
Come on.
Yeah, go ahead.
You got one?
Yeah, I have one. I can still bring it up.
Come on, bring it up. Go over the spiritual, brother.
It's 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18. Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool that he may be wise. Verse 19. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. For it is written, He taketh the wise in their own craftiness.
You got it.
That we're just going back into the point, about being humble and being a blank canvas. The foolishness of this world, it's not wisdom of the Lord.
Right.
And obviously, if you've been brought up into this world, you have to go and let that all. You got to go and let all that go, and be a blank canvas and learn.
You got it. Proverbs 18.
All right, this is Proverbs chapter 18, verse 1. Through desire, a man, having separated himself, seeketh and intermeddleth with all wisdom. Keep going.
Yeah.
Verse 2. A fool had no delight in understanding, but that his heart may discover itself.
It says, a fool hath no delight in understanding, but that his heart may discover itself. And the NLT says, fools have no interest in understanding. They only want to air their own opinions. All right? And that's, again, if you don't have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man, you're a fool. All right? Plain and simple. If you're a dumbass, so nothing out of your mouth would be anything profitable to my salvation. To tell you the truth, I don't want to hear it. All right? I'll be nice to you and let you speak, but when it comes to serious matters, I that's all I want to hear at this point in time, because we're coming at the time where the clock's ticking down, and prophecy is just jumping off the page, and Jake is trying to do everything for ourselves, speaking for all bros, we're trying to do things for ourselves to better our chances of being chosen by Yahweh by Shemel Shah, But brother got precept? If not, let me see. Cool. Get Proverbs 16 and 25.
This is Proverbs chapter 16, verse 25. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death.
That alone, again, why the Lord takes, those thoughts away from you, that you're not supposed to believe in that I'm losing the word again. Free will. Yeah. Knocking us away from that free will, because the things that Jacob have in their mind will ultimately just put him to death at the end of the day. It has no profit. It's not profitable in any type of way. But Carl, you got it.
This is This is Jeremiah going into, we don't have free will.
Mhm.
That'll lead you to destruction for sure. We need the Lord to guide our steps. All right, it says, Jeremiah 10:23. Oh Lord, I know that the way of a man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. Like, if we did that, we'll be going off all the time. Verse 24, O Lord, correct me, but with judgment, not in thy anger, lest thou bring me to nothing.
Read it one more time.
I'm going to start back up again. Jeremiah 10, verse 23. O Lord, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps.
Because obviously, it's like, you can stop right there. Because obviously, again, the Lord directs his steps. It's not, it's not in man to walk in create his own path like this world has taught us, that Esau Edom, taught you, that what you're supposed to be doing, So keep going.
Verse 24, O Lord, correct me, but with judgment, not in thine anger, lest thou bring me to nothing.
God, that correction that's going to come with it, with the walks of that we're doing, it's beautiful to be corrected by the Lord, because that shows that the Lord is dealing with you. All right, brother could get that Lord dealing with you as sons. Whoever's
talking about the one in Hebrews?
Yeah. You dealing with sons. If not, you're a bastard.
Yeah. Okay.
But get that Isaiah 55 and 8.
I got it.
Oh, it's like, well, let's get that. Then we're gonna get Isaiah 55 and 8.
Yeah, this Hebrews 12. And I'll start at verse 5. It says, and ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons.
God. And again, overall, that topic of correction, all right, because that correction is needed. For men that's coming up in this learning, the studies of Yahweh Shimei Shai, because again, we're gonna go off, we're gonna mess up. So we have to have that correction to get us on a path to complete the mission at the end of the day.
That's right.
But again, if you're not of that chastisement, that means if the Lord not dealing with you, you don't want to be on that side. You don't want to be that bastard that the Lord is not dealing with. All right. But
to add on what you were saying, another thing, you ain't catching no type of hell, then that's automatic right there.
Yes,
you ain't gonna do no wrong. Everything good, everything happy, good, lucky. Well, the Lord ain't dealing with you.
Right.
He gonna put your ass through some things,
God.
Yeah.
Jake walked around this thing. It's normal.
You skipping and hopping, everything. You dance. Oh man, I'm having a great old time. Like, the Lord ain't dealing with that.
Yeah, brother. Like that shows you. That's again one of the gifts of discernment that the Lord gives us. If we see somebody that they make life seem like it's all great and it's all beautiful, it's all roses and daisies, we know that the Lord not dealing with you because we going through hell over there.
Catching hell, man.
Yes, brother. We going through hell with family members on a job, JK, women, whatever it may be, funds in their pocket, they constantly getting up to this level just for all your money to be taken away and just constantly fighting to rebuild, all of these things, man.
This is not your rest.
Again, this is not our rest, But again, we take all this proudly, we take all this to the chin, because we know that the Lord is dealing with us. That's the end all be all. By us going through all of this, that's the thing on the brighter side note, that the Lord is dealing. Because if the Lord not dealing with you, man, just go ahead and do whatever you want, Do whatever you want, and you're gonna die at the end of the day. Pretty much.
You're on your way out of here.
You're on your way out, But bring out preacher.
This Sirach chapter 30, verse 1. He that loveth his son causeth him often to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end. Verse 2. He that chastiseth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance. Verse 3, he that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, with chastisement, it's another form of helping somebody grow. Okay, you grow by chastisement. All right, and you read something in the I think it's like the yeah he that loved you.
I'm gonna just read it back. Sirach 30:1. He that loveth his son causeth him often to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end.
Yeah, you know, and you can see like in the worldly form of Jake that's best friends with a child, you know, and they're not teaching them anything, they're not chastising anything that they do, you know, they just both just do wicked things together. Yeah, they rebellious, but they got men that I know that grew up in this world, you know, treating their child like they nigga. That's they best friends. So I'm gonna do some stupid shit, you gonna do some stupid shit with me. That's not love. That's not love. God, the blind leading the blind. That's not love. All right, a real father that loves you is gonna correct you when you're doing something wrong. You know, again, for you to better yourself and for you to walk the right path. You know. But you got it.
All right, this is Job chapter 5, verse 17. Behold, happy is the man whom God corrected. Therefore, despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty.
Despise not that read that word again.
Despise not the chastening of the Almighty.
The chastening of the Almighty. All right, because again, it's you don't want to stop anything that's going to benefit you at the end of the day. All right. If it's unbeneficial for you, you know, yeah, disregard it, kick it away, keep it away from you. All right, but if it's something for your benefit, for you to grow, you know, and for you to help others grow, you know, and to make your steps closer to the Lord, you know, keep it coming. All right, that's all chastisement is. And brothers, you know, it's hard for you to say that yeah, brother, I love chastisement. I love getting my ass whooped by the Lord because it hurt. You know, but you know that whatever how it's happening, when it's happening, it's supposed to happen. You know,
but it's not that bad, bro. Cause I know a lot of people like in the world, like if you got your butt whooped by your mama, as a grown man now, a lot of men be like, man, I'm glad my mama did what she did. You know, as far as correcting me, because you see the difference in you and your peers that didn't go through that.
Right.
They did, they in jail, right. You know, and you upstanding, you know, young man, you strong, you making your way. You have a way about yourself and an insight and a discernment because of that, you know.
God. Yeah. That's how no, you said that's how I was about to say that's how it is in the truth though.
Yeah, but that's my point.
It's twice it's way more different because on a larger scale, because now you have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So when you go through something, you be like, damn, the Lord got me in a pickle right here. It's just, you know, you're in an uncomfortable position. All right, but then when you get over it, you'll be like, man, damn, I done learned so much just from going through that. All right, this was a whole lesson learned. Yep. All right, that's why we gotta love to be corrected, bro, because that's the Lord's way of showing that He care about us and He love us. Because if somebody don't listen, bro, I don't give a damn about no nigga. I ain't telling no nigga nothing.
Right.
But my brother, all right, I'm gonna rebuke you, I'm gonna correct you, all right, because I care about your well-being. Right. And that's just like what the Lord chastising and correcting us.
If I can say it before you get that precept, you know, that's that like that stupid, you know, growing up now and seeing how stupid that saying is that I'm lying with you right or wrong.
No.
You know? No, if you wrong, I want no dealings with that. If you wrong, you need to get right. You know, that rebuke it. But again, backing up what the brother just said, you know, Jacob get into that mindset of just doing wickedness with their brother and not rebuking him. All right? Even on a brotherly level, you have to do that. You have to correct your brother.
That's love.
That's love.
Right, you love him, yeah.
If you love him, you're going to rebuke him and tell him.
If you spare that rod, then that means that you hate him.
God.
No discipline. That you hate the man. You can damn what he do.
God. But again, that's what we just talking about with the Lord. Yeah. The Lord is showing you these things. That means that the Lord is showing you that He loves you. You know, I could just cast you off and let you be around with these niggas. All right. What your parents used to say if they catch you outside doing something stupid, they come and yank you up. They come and get you and bring you in the house and whoop your ass. And you probably thinking at that time, man, they all doing it. I'm not the only one, but no, you my child.
Right.
You my child. I love you, and I'm about to correct you. You know, but you got the precept, bro.
This Ecclesiasticus, Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Verse 6. Believe in him, and he will help thee order thy way aright, and trust in him.
Read the gold in the furnace.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
You know, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. All right. So in the times of trouble, of being tried ultimately by the Lord, you know, it's an end all be all that's coming from it. You know, it's not chastisement for no reason. It's not trials and tribulations for no reason. All right. It's for the impurities to be cleaned off of that gold. All right. Because we in that precept right there, you know, a man of the Lord is that gold. All right. The jewels of the Lord. You know, it has to be a cleaning process. And again, it's easier said than done. All right. It's easier just to hear these things and to say that, oh, all right, I'm going to just go ahead and take it. I'm going to just ass whooping. You know that you got to take it. But sometimes you be looking like, damn, Lord, I really, you know, I'm fucked up right now. I don't know. But again, at the end of the day, when it all comes to pass, it's something that you've learned by it, you know? But you say you got something here?
Yeah, I got some. This is this Romans. Alright. Y'all better drive on y'all. I'm just one listening.
I want to go up a little bit to back your point up. It says, it says, set thy heart aright. Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 2. It says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure and make not haste in the time of trouble. Verse 3, it says, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. And verse 4, it says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. So that was to back up your last point, brother.
When you change to a lower state, man, you know. But again, we see these things and we go through these things being in that lower state. And I mentioned it earlier, brother. This is one of the most glorious times to be in that lower state. You know, where have you ever heard of being in a lower state is good? You know, being in a lower state means that the Most High loves you. You know, you don't hear that from nowhere else but the scriptures to the things that you're supposed to be listening and abiding to.
Because there's a reward for it.
Because it's a reward for it. All right, for you to I forget the precept. I believe it's in Matthew when it goes down the list that woe to them that laugh now. So it's a whole list of things, but I believe it's in Matthew. But get that Hebrew show.
This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11. Now no chastening for the present seemed to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yielded the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby.
Luke 6 and 21. Read it again, Bobby.
It's Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11. Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yielded the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby.
Trying to yield a peaceable fruit, you know, because read it one more time and we're going to stop in the middle of it. I'm going to tell you when to stop.
It's Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11. Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous.
Not joyous, but grievous, you know, going through that pain, you know, as we were just speaking on. At that point in time, it seemed like it's grievous and it seemed like it's never going to end. You know, that's the hell that the Lord, you know, puts us through. But, you know, on our time, like I just said, it seemed like it's forever. It's never going to stop. But it's just a blink of an eye. You know, the Lord probably ain't even really blinked yet. And that whole situation is going to be over. And you're going to be growing. But
my bad, I didn't mean to cut
No, go ahead. What you do?
It's like the Lord's time is different for ours. So like what may seem like it's slow for us, it's fast for Him. It's not. We're not on the Lord's time.
Come. We keep going.
Back in Hebrews 12, verse 11, nevertheless, afterward it yielded the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby.
That those that are exercised thereby, you know, that peaceable fruit, All right. So again, what we've been going into is a benefit. All right. It's a reward at the end of that chastisement that's going to come and happen to you. You know. But I just asked for something. Oh, the Luke. Yeah. Con.
This is
Kyle, we got you. We'll get you next week. All right.
this Luke chapter 6, verse 20. Is it 20, 21? Blessed are ye that hunger now, for ye shall be filled.
Start at 20.
This is Luke chapter 6, verse 20. And he lifted up his eyes on his disciples and said, Blessed be ye poor, for yours is the kingdom of God. Verse 21. Blessed are ye that hunger now, for ye shall be filled. Blessed are ye that weep now, for ye shall laugh. And blessed are ye when men shall hate you, when they shall separate you from their company, and shall reproach you, and cast you out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake.
Con, you can stop right there for a moment. You know, it's like just read all of it to 24.
Verse 23. Rejoice ye in that day, and leap for joy. For, behold, your reward is great in heaven.
Yes.
For in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation.
25.
Woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger. Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep.
You know, this is the ultimate comeback story, all right, of what the Lord is doing for us. You know, that's why we should glory, you know, in these situations that we're in right now. You know, and it's funny how it's kind of wrapping back full circle while humbling yourself down. You know, so going through these things, blessed are ye that hunger now, that you should be filled. Blessed are ye that weep now, for you shall laugh. Blessed are ye when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you from their company, and shall reproach you and cast you out, as your name is evil from the Son of Man's sake. All right, that's beautiful that these things are happening. All right, because that means that the prophecy, you know, that the words of the Lord is speaking. All right, so we knowing all these things is happening, like the Lord said it was going to happen. That don't do nothing but boost your faith even more. All right, to know that the Lord said this is going to happen, you know, and what I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to take for this cheerfully, because why? It says in verse 23, rejoice ye in that day and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is great in heaven. For in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. All right, you know, we're going to leap and have joy for these things, man. You know, this is nothing for you to put your spirit down. All right, you know, don't let the demons get on you to put your spirit down in these situations when you're in this lower state. All right, but being again, it's glory to be in this lower state of what the Lord put us in. All right, because we have a reward at the end of it. You know.
That's it.
Oh yeah, you said
First Peter chapter 4, verse 12 said, Beloved, think it's not strange concerning the fiery trials, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened to you. So, you know, don't think that it's a strange thing. You know, the Lord said He's going to try you. You're going to be tested. You're going to be what? Chastised. You know, the Lord going to get you. You get out of line, He's going to put you back in line. You're going to go through these adversities. You're going to go through these afflictions, oppression. You know what I'm saying? The Lord said, hey, don't worry about it. That's what you got to go through this. I'm putting it on you, but guess what? Verse 13, he said, but rejoice insomuch as ye are partakers of the Hamashiach suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. So, you know, I like affliction just for a moment. And we get ready to go into immortality, rulership, spiritual power. That reward is coming. All we got to do is, walk that straight gate. The Lord's going to get us there. You got it, man.
God, and just to bring it up, again in a different type of scenario, when Jake used to get their ass whooped with that belt, when it first happened, you start getting hit, that bitch stink. You stink, you feel all that pain, your parents talking shit while you getting your ass whooped, and you just don't understand nothing. You just know I'm in pain right now.
Yeah,
I'm mad. Why you hit me like this, But, at the end all be all is something there that was taught. That's all the Lord do. He's gonna fuck you up in some type of situation, but then show you that, hey, this is for a reason.
That's it.
I taught you this. Now you've been an example for another brother to see these things, and also something for yourself. But you said something, I'm gonna let it go.
No, you're with. I got another point. Good. Yeah.
Read that real quick for me. Paul talking.
All right.
Bring out the word try. It's a small word, but it's heavy.
Okay. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 12 said, Beloved, think it's not strange concerning the fiery trials, which is to try.
Which is to try you, right?
To try you.
Right. So it says, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you.
That's it.
All right. Now let's see what this word try says. It's Strong's G3986, Parosmos. All right. It says an experiment, an attempt, a proving, a trial made of you by my bodily condition, since condition served as the test, the love, the trial of man's fidelity. You know what fidelity is? The trial of your faith, right?
That's it.
So thinking not strange, this is and it covers everything that the Lord gonna try us with, man.
Right.
Right? Your fidelity, your integrity, virtue, constancy. This is all under the word try, brother. It says the trial of a man's enticement to sin, temptation, whether arising from the desires or from the outward circumstances. Second definition, an eternal temptation to sin. Internal, like within your IS. The internal temptation to sin. Of the temptation by which the devil sought to divert Yahushua, the Hamashiach, from his divine errand. You see? So that's the Lord trying us using Satan. Like, brother, it covers everything. It says of the condition of things, or a mental state, right? Our minds, our heads being fucked up, you know? Jake go through mental issues, you know? And it's true, brother. Like, let's be real. It's a battle, you know?
Think straight.
Yeah. It's a battle, man. You know? It says also, by which we are enticed to sin or to a lapse from the faith and holiness. You know, doubt. You see? It says adversity, affliction, or trouble sent by the Most High and serving to test or to prove one's character, faith, and holiness. Come on, bro. You got it out.
That's it.
I got a quick precept just to show you the other side of that. This the reward for enduring all of that.
Yes, brother.
It's James 1:12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord had promised to them that love him.
There you go.
Yeah. He promised to you that read it one more time.
You can bring it up. You can bring it up.
Right.
It's James 1:12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life.
You know, it's not for nothing, you know, and that's the way that you always got to look at it, man. Because that moment that you get in that war's me spirit and think that you're the only person that's getting hell right now, you know, that's Satan getting the upper hand on you and pretty much just kicking your ass, you know. They got to fight back at some point in time, you know, and that's the way that you fight back, of having that faith until you how about Yahushua, knowing that what it just said there, it's a reward, it's a crown, you know, after all of this is over with, you know.
It's just like that ultimate test and try is when you go to Revelation chapter 3, verse 10, I just thought about is that, you know, it's the outward temptation, that testing. The Lord said he would try the entire world. So that's the ultimate test right there.
Yeah, that's why it's better for us to go through our to be tried now than to be tried later, man. Yeah. You know, because the Lord is proving us wrong. And ultimately to the point to where we know, right, the Lord gonna have a spirit on us to not take the MOTV. You see? So when the world gets tried and they ain't been chastised yet, what they gonna do? Go forward. Yeah. That's why the brother said, blessed is the man that endures the temptation. You know, you got it, bro.
All that line is up to his first.
I got one, brother.
Hold on, back Matthew 4 and 7. An example of so like let's get that done. Matthew 7 and it's like 4 and 7. So like this is again another example, because brother's not just, you know, speaking on these things of being tempted. The Lord was tempted.
Yes.
All right. The Lord was tempted after he was fasting, if I'm not mistaken, 40 days and 40 nights. God, the Lord was fasting for 40 days and 40 nights, and Satan came to tempt him you know, when he was weak, you know. But let's get to it. Full in. You're gonna read from 7 to 10.
This is Matthew chapter
11. You're gonna full
4 to 11.
7 to 11.
7 to 11.
Come.
This is Matthew chapter 4, verse 7. Yahushua said unto him, red letter, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy power. Verse 8. Again, the devil taketh them up into an exceeding high mountain, and showed him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them. Verse 9. And saith unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Verse 10. Red letters again. Then saith Yahushua unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy power, and him only shalt thou serve.
Get 11.
Verse 11. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him.
Come. All right, but the point was, you know, Satan, you know, had Yahushua up there on the mountain showing him all of the kingdoms and all these things, you know, if you was just to basically fall away from the Lord, you know, fall away from the things that you believe, all right? So he's being tempted at this point in time because obviously, you know, you got to put yourself in that position. Satan probably ain't just show him, you know, just some bullshit. He probably showed him some enticing ass shit that Yahushua probably looked at it and was like, man, this look good. This looked real good, but he stood on his morals. He had his integrity of what he was going to do. And brothers can get that Job too, you know, his account, you know, of him being tested. All right, because again, we have these epistles and accounts in the scriptures for us to be able to lean upon, you know, for us to refer to and look and say, okay, we got right here, Yahushua of all people was tempted by Satan, and he stood his ground. He said that he was going to serve the Lord. You know, I don't want these things, because ultimately Yahushua knew that the end all be all, if he stood his ground, what glory was going to come behind him, you know?
The Lord Yahushua, he set the standard, you know, the way to walk in any different situation. The Lord already has done it. The Lord said, I have overcome, ye also shall overcome. So, you know, that's all we got to do, follow the blueprint.
Yeah, follow the blueprint.
Whoever believe the report. That's it.
It's James chapter 4, verse 7. Submit yourselves, therefore, to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you.
One more time.
This James chapter 4, verse 7. Submit yourselves, therefore, to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you.
Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. All right. And what it said at the beginning?
It says, submit yourselves, therefore, to God.
That's where that word submit again. It's funny how this thing is coming full circle. It's coming full circle.
If I read down a little more, it's going to come all the way full circle.
Yeah.
It says, chapter verse 8, draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Verse 9, be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning, and your joy to heaviness. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up.
Humble yourself in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. You know, but hit that first point again. I got a little bit more to get off.
James 4, chapter 4, verse 7. Submit yourselves, therefore, to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you.
God, submit yourself. So again, we just got right here with the account of Yahushua. Yahushua literally told Satan, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy power, and him only shalt thou serve. All right? So, and it said right after that, again, the devil take it to like, then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. The devil fled. After Yahushua sat there and resisted the temptation from Satan, the devil fled, you know? But you got the Job. I'm right here. You said you had a precept, huh?
Yeah, I had 1 Peter 6.
You could get it.
All right, this is 1 Peter 6. No, this is 1 Peter 1 and 6.
Yeah, sitting going back and forth in the bet that they made.
This is 1 Peter 1 and 6, and it says, wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, you are heavy through manifold temptation, that trial of your faith, being much precious than gold that perisheth,
though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahushua Mashiach.
Read back that point, the trial of your faith.
That's why I mean, First Peter 1:6, and it says, "Wherein greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in heavy through manifold temptations, that the trial of your faith being much more precious than gold that perishes, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahushua Mashiach."
And there go with that pride of fire again. All right, we brought it out with that Sirach, with that two with the gold being tried in the furnace. All right, because again, that fire, that spiritual fire that the Lord is doing, He's getting those impurities off. But it says, verse 7, it says that the trial of your faith being more precious than the gold of that gold that perishes, though it be tried with fire, it might be found as for praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahushua Mashiach. All right, but the trial of our faith, man, is beautiful for us to even be a part of it. All right, that's the mindset. It's a positive mindset that you could take of all these things. All right, you could sit there and again have that towards me spirit of like, oh, my faith is on trial. What am I going to do? How I'm going to handle this? How I'm going to operate when things are going south? You know, why do I got to do this? Or you're going to be on that trial of your faith and be like, all right, let's go. Let's do it. Whatever it is, I'm gonna take cheerfully. I'm gonna take it on the chin, and I'm gonna keep on moving. The whole goal of this thing is to keep on moving. All right. Brother could get that. We fall it 7 times. Just man. Yeah. Come on. Let's get that
real quick.
Yeah, you got it.
Back you up real quick. I got another one.
Yeah.
You made me think of this. This Job 38:3. It says, "Gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me."
Gird up your loins like a man. Get that saying. That I looked at the definition of it. It's got a little meat of that saying, gird up your loins. But that's something that the Lord. No, just a yeah. They had I wasn't expecting like the actual definition of what they say about gird up your loins.
I brought that out to show, like, you can't be in that woe is me spirit. Like, the angel came to Job and said, man, gird up your fucking loins, man. All of it, and that's why you brought it out. You brought it out already with the Job?
Oh, no, the account.
Yeah, when Satan went after Job, and he took everything Job had. And the angel came and told him, man, gird up your fucking loins, man.
Right, yeah. That's tough. That's tough to have all of you going through all of these things. Yes, brother. All of these things going on, man, taking away his what they call it, his animals, his cattle, took away his cattle, everything. Killed his kids.
He killed all the children.
Yeah. Come on, brother. That was his riches. Yeah. Because it's like we gonna get to that because I got a lot of points I can make in that joke. But you got
definition.
Yeah, the definition of the.
It said gird. This what you got right here? Yep. It said the meaning of gird your loins, to prepare oneself for something difficult or challenging.
Yes. Prepare yourself for something that's difficult or challenging. Yeah. All right, which is the trial of our faith. All right, so the trial of our faith right there, you have to gird your loins to be able to walk this path. All right? Go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Salaki, gird up your loins. Read the definition one more time.
It says, I'm read the definition, or let me get the rest.
Read the definition. Let me make the point at the.
To prepare oneself for something difficult or challenging.
Preparing yourself for something that's difficult or challenging. Again, which goes into the trial of our faith, and how you're supposed to walk in this thing. We talked earlier of we were supposed to get that too, the carrying your cross. Bear your cross. The servant not greater than his master. This is some things that's required for us to do. And carrying your cross is not easy. All right, it's not easy. It's a strenuous task in a physical form and a spiritual form. All right. If you watch that movie, what was that Mel Gibson movie? Where they show Yahweh Shai, but it was something in the Christ,
Passionate.
passion of the Christ. Yeah, that, you know, even though we know what it is, but they actually showing the scene of Yahweh Shai, who that was supposed to be. That was just the dog head Jesus in that movie. But he was carrying his cross, and you know, everything, they was throwing piss on him, they was whipping him as he was walking and shit. You know, you're seeing all these things, but again, even in the physical form, it's not an easy test. All right, it's something for you to lock your mind in and to move forward. You know, but you got it, Rashad.
God. It says the phrase "gird your loins" originates from the KJ Bible and is rooted in the ancient practice of wearing long, loose clothing. That's the point. It says to prepare for physical activity or battle, right? Because in the ancient times, this would be our this would be our apparel. You know, we didn't wear pants and different type of shit. Nah, we had garments on, man.
Yeah.
All right, loose clothing. That's what our what's the word? Our heritage,
Yeah,
right? That's this is what we wore, brother.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't wear shirts and tight shirts. We got Jake wearing fucking the cut off shirts now, man.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
crop tops and
Crop
shit.
tops.
You know, we didn't wear that type of shit, man. All right. Yeah, Gucci, you got all your loins out, man. You know, we didn't wear that shit.
Bullshit. But you
It
got
says it's rooted in the ancient practice of wearing long, loose clothing. So to prepare for physical activity or battle, people will tie their robes or tunics with a belt to keep them from hindering movement. Therefore, gird your loins metaphorically means to prepare oneself for action or a difficult task.
difficult task, you know. In other words, tighten up.
Yeah.
That's the be the modern term of gird up your loins. Tighten up, you know. When you tighten up, you tighten up before a fight. You tighten up in a situation where you just feel weak, where you're damn near crying. You just can't control yourself.
That's it.
Then when it's go time, you know, all these situations, all Jay got to tell somebody like, hey, bro, tighten up. Tighten up. Get your mind right, bro. That tighten up goes with a lot of things, but that ancient term of tighten up was gird up your loins.
Get ready for the battle.
Get ready. It's no need for all this, for you to be doing all this whining and bullshit, man. Gird up your loins.
We at war.
Yes.
When it's time to fight, what Jake do?
Pull up your pants.
Get ready.
You know, they get the pants pulled up to make sure they tight.
Right.
Because you don't want to fight and your pants start falling off your ass, man.
Tripping your pants, get knocked out.
You got it, Bayan.
Whatever it may be,
Get
even in that
choked out,
situation.
killed, whatever.
Jacob may have a jacket on, anything that's loose, that's probably going to get in the way.
Taking it
The
off.
first thing that they do is take it off.
get
Get all
cold
this
with
away from me so I can be
We
fluid
get ready,
and ready to
get
go.
in you.
You know?
Yeah.
But, Con, we hit your precept. We're going to get it. Let's get the precepts out the way. Because that Jewel got a little left on.
This First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 64. Wherefore, ye my sons, be valiant and show yourselves men in the behalf of the law, for by it shall ye obtain glory.
Con, read that one more time.
First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 64. Wherefore, ye my sons, be valiant and show yourselves men in the behalf of the law, for by it shall ye obtain glory.
So it's a requirement at the end of the day, man.
That's it.
All right, it's a requirement to be a man. All right, to be a man of the Lord ultimately. All right, because again, you're not going to fail. You're not going to fail by doing these things. The Lord is not putting any of these scriptures in the book for us to look at it and then fail immediately after. No, you got it. You got it. I kind of lost my point.
This is 1 Corinthians 10 and 13, and it says, there have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man, but the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape that ye may be able to bear.
Yeah, so I think we kind of spoke about that a little bit. Didn't bring it out fully, but you know that it's no temptation that is gonna that the Lord puts in front of you that is gonna mess you over. It's for you to be able to overcome it at the end of the day.
Yeah, he's not gonna put you in an extraneous situation that nobody never been in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just putting you in there so you can fail.
Yeah,
Lord don't operate like
right.
that.
You don't operate. Yeah, you don't operate that way.
He gives you enough to, build you up. He gives you enough so you can be able to prevail through that. and not like overburden you in a situation.
Yeah. So again, with that giving you enough, he's giving you accounts. He's giving you things that you can read. He's probably giving you a physical example that you can see. You know, and that's how we operate. That's how this whole body operates because we get accounts and we have many different stories in the scriptures of seeing what and what not to do. And the end all be all being of it. You got it.
Not only that, but like you say, within the brethren though, you got brethren that's alive, that through the spirit that's with us in our flesh.
Yeah.
They go through the same things. You might go through something when you coming in, another brother done went through it.
Yeah.
Right? Like I said in I believe that's Luke or Matthew, that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren, And when thou art converted, straightened our brother,
God. Yeah.
So it's the same constant things on it. So many things Satan can hit us with,
Right.
But there's always a way out.
Always a way out. The Lord will always make a way out if you believe in Him.
Yep.
All right. If you believe in the process, if you believe in the things that He's been sitting you down and for you to learn. All right. We're not out here learning for no reason. We're learning to make it at the end of the day. And even if it's not for that, it's for you to teach somebody else that needs to be able to make it.
Right.
So again, we're not boasting any type of way, of saying that, we of that number. No, we're humbly coming in and, fearing the Lord and knowing that, hey, the Lord could, Lord willing that it don't happen, but the Lord could knock me off of this path and bug me out. All right. And it's probably everything I went through was probably just for y'all to grow and be the best, brothers that y'all could be.
Even still, it's not for nothing.
It's not for nothing, But you say you had a precept?
I got
Yeah, I got I know I was
We
holding
still
the
gotta get that
jewel.
jewel.
Yeah, I'm holding the jewel.
You got the
10 fingers.
I'm holding the jewel, but
Hey man,
Yeah.
I'm bring this out, brother. You don't know what you about.
I got the jewel.
Cut.
Kind of bad.
Bring this out real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10.
Oh,
Finally,
what?
No, but we ain't about to do that.
Bring it out, Doc. Go ahead, bring it out.
Hey,
brother.
but I was gonna let it pass because we had kind of like got away from it a little bit, but
Nah,
it
that
was
gotta
just-
come out.
it was just going into the it's gonna go into it, but I wanted to get the point, because this a battle. You spoke about, before you go to battle, girding up your loins. And this is a battle. So this where you want me to start at, bro? I wanted to get 12. This is Ephesians 6 and 10. It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of His might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
You can stop right there. Putting on that whole armor. What is that armor? All right, that armor is that wisdom, knowledge, understanding, having the scripture. That's our only defense. All right, Howard Shai is our only defense, and he gives us that comfort in the spiritual weapon that we have. And brother could get that Romans, that the spiritual our warfare is
2 Corinthians 5.
That's Corinthians. I thought it was
2
Romans.
Corinthians 5 and 3.
So like, God, 2 Corinthians 5 and 3. They might have something like that in Romans.
I think so.
I know I'm not
I
sure.
think
But continue.
Yeah, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
One more time.
It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. You was about to see something?
No. So like, I was still looking at that.
Read them one more time.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, Ephesians 6 and 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Yeah, we battle. It's more important things to battle. Dealing with this. Against not flesh and blood. All right, that's small things at this point in time. Just another nigga at the end of the day. But we handling with spiritual things. The things again that's going to lead to our salvation. That's the thing that gets more a harder task to overcome. you know, which is wise in our passing for us to be able to have to fight these things, you know.
And that's why it's imperative that we gotta gird up our loins because we always in a battle, and
Yeah.
we in a battle with everything. We're in a battle with our flesh. We're in a battle with our mind. Like we're in a battle with you know, the world, the ways of this world, the woman. Our, you know, we just in a constant battle. So we have to gird up our loins that we may be able to withstand those battles, man. Because we're in a constant fight. We don't got time to let our guard down. And that's how you get took. That's how Satan take you.
You battle with our flesh and our spirit.
Flesh, yes. You know.
Battle against one another. Yeah.
I still got that.
So let's go to 2 Corinthians.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
8 and 5. Let him get the second. Go ahead. I told you. Yeah, 2 Corinthians, then we're going to get that wrong.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 4. Okay. 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. Verse 4.
Right, so we don't war, right, doing fleshly shit. You know what I'm saying? We don't go and get guns. You know, somebody said they gonna shoot me.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna go get my gun and shoot him. I'm gonna put a curse on this nigga. Man.
Right.
You know? Go ahead,
That's
brother.
more powerful than, you know, of physically fucking somebody up.
Yeah.
Imagine that, you know, brothers was seeing that. Brothers was seeing that on the block, you know, just to see somebody come up there, you know, it was better to fuck him up spiritually than to actually put your hands on him.
There you go. That's what it said. Wound the spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to get it.
Yes, brother. I have it, brother.
Grab
Yes.
Yeah, no.
This Hebrews 4 and 12. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart.
And that, right, it starts off telling you that it's sharper than two-edged sword, you said?
That again.
Read that.
It says, verse 12, it says, for the word of the Most High is quick and powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit,
Yes.
and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart.
See that right there? That's a cheat code weapon on Grand Theft Auto or something. You know, you put that cheat code in, you get a weapon like that could destroy anything. You know, but with just words, that's tough. All right, but again, that's the Lord didn't leave us comfortless out here, man. He gave us the armor and he gave us a weapon of life. He gave us that. All right, but let's get the.
That was a shot.
Go
Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead, brother.
I gotta back him up.
Yeah, go ahead.
This Proverbs 18 and 14. It says the spirit of a man will sustain his infirmity, but a wounded spirit who can bear?
Who could bear? Who could bear a wounded spirit? Man, if and we've witnessed that. You know, that's why it's funny to talk about this and why it needs to be put out there that, man, bro, the way that we fight, which let's get that, because that's gonna back it up. The weapons of our warfare.
2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh Shai to the pulling down of strongholds.
God. But look, that's our weapon right there. That's our weapons that are not carnal. All right. So with that, we're pulling down strongholds and we're messing men up mentally, spiritually. You know, just by knocking their soul out of them in a way of saying, you know, of telling them that they're wrong and what's going to happen to them. What's going to be the end all be all of you if you continue to be a nigga. All right. We not gonna do nothing to you, but the Lord gonna fuck you up. Just to hear that, you know, people be like, "Oh no, man, the Lord, peace, he ain't gonna do that to me. All these things ain't gonna happen." All right, and wait till that moment happen, where they're gonna be put in a situation where they're gonna be getting fucked up, the first thing that the Lord is gonna put on their mind is, hey, I told you I was gonna get you. I told you I was gonna get you. You just heard it from my prophet. You heard it from my mouth. That's my mouth right there. I didn't told you this, and now you got to deal with it. So at this point in time, you know, that's all we could do. All right. Brother could get that too. We're fishers right now, but we soon gonna be hunters. Jeremiah 14. Come.
If I can make a quick point, it might be I think it's 6 if I can make a quick point, because like I said, the spirit of a man will sustain his infirmity, right? So when you're sick, you know, your spirit good.
Right.
Your spirit good, your body sick.
Right.
You know, you going through the mind, like, man, when you sick, all you think about is getting healthy, right? But nothing wrong with your spirit.
Right.
You can still watch videos.
Yeah.
You can still study. You know, do lessons, whatever it may be. But when your spirit cut, like when you cut in the spirit, man, you just be sitting there like, you know, especially when you didn't see them.
Yeah.
You know, Jake get cut out there on the block, and you they just stand there. I remember the one nigga, the Lord ain't let him leave. He got cut so bad, and the Lord wouldn't let him leave, man. He just stood there till the camp was over like this, just looking at the ground, you know? It was over. He was still standing there, man.
Oh, man.
That's why I say a wounded spirit, man. Who could bear a wounded spirit, you know?
Can't. That's the answer to that. You
Can't, yeah.
You know? And that's how we fight, man. That's the way to fight right now. Because brother got that, Jeremiah? You know how to get it?
Jeremiah 16:16.
That's it. What did it say?
Jeremiah 6. It says, "Behold, I will send many fishers, say Yahweh, and they shall fish them, and afterward I send many afterward I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill, and out of the holes of the rocks."
God. So right now, the role that we have right now is being a fisher. All right. If you know anything about a fisher, it's pretty much a passive role. All right. It's a passive role with no conflict. All right. And it's fishing. What we're doing, that we're fishing in of the elect. You know, we were trying to seal, you know, the hopeful elect, you know, for us to get out of here. But that's the fishers that's our duty and job right now. All right. It's not to be hunters. It's not to pick up swords and weapons to go and fight this devil for us to get our ass whooped ultimately. Because why would you try to fight this damn devil with his gift, you know, in his kingdom? You know, it doesn't make sense. That's why, you know, it tells you also in the book of Romans that the Lord said, vengeance is mine. If it's for us to be, for us to be peaceful, you know, with all men, you know, because thus said that the vengeance is mine, thus said the Lord, you know, roughly paraphrasing. But then it said afterwards, of not being fishy, she's going to send for hunters. So believe me, Jake, you're going to get your opportunity. You know, the whole free lake that's watching, the believers, you know, we're going to get our opportunity, you know, to once we're transforming these new bodies, to be able to put belt to ass, to finally put our hands on these devils and 2/3 of our people, because they got to get it too. You know, they're not safe at this point in time because they're still considered as enemies of the Lord, you know. So you just got to be patient, you know, until the Lord gives that go, you know. And like I mentioned with that Romans, that the Lord said, vengeance is mine. We let the Lord get his lick first, and once he get his lick, we bomb in right after. You know, that's how this thing is going to go.
Right. You know, he said plowman will overtake the reaper. You know, right now, you know, we're doing the work right now, but we getting ready to overtake. We getting ready, you know, we getting ready to get that spiritual power.
You got your precept up, you know.
I had, like, you was quoting that.
The Romans?
Yeah,
God, you get it.
This is Romans chapter 12, verse 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine.
Well, one more verse? Yeah, one more verse.
This is Romans chapter 12, verse 18. If it be possible, as much as life in you, live peaceably with all men.
One more time.
If Romans chapter 12, verse 18, if it be possible, as much as life in you, live peaceably with all men.
All right. So Jay, we're not out here looking to start beef. We're not looking out here to try to start shit to get into physical altercations. All right, that's nothing that we are truly looking for. All right, but then again, it's if possible. All right, so on the other side of that, that doesn't mean let anybody put their hands on you and fuck over you in any type of way. If you got to defend yourself, you got to defend yourself. All right, just to put that out there. But
goddamn punching bag. Huh?
yeah, we not no punching bags. Like the being on the block, people see us in these garments holding signs or holding the scriptures and might think that we some preacher boys, that we can't defend ourselves, that don't nobody out here know how to fight or handle themselves.
Turn the other cheek.
Yeah, turn the other cheek. What white Jesus will tell you to do. So again, we not punching bags, and we not gonna allow no type of bullshit to come directly to us. That's in our power for us to stop. But keep going.
That's the indication of a real man of the Lord.
Yeah.
Get on your ass.
God. Keep going.
In Romans chapter 12, verse 19, dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine.
God, the brother Kashab just mentioned, that the things that we could do, at that point in time is for us to just go ahead and throw a curse on him. Throw a curse on him for the Lord to bring all his fears on him, destroy, something that's nearly dear to him, whatever it may be. You want to say something?
We don't put curses on the nigga bike, man.
Yeah.
So,
God, brother.
That's a mug.
God.
Put the curse on a nigga bike. Hey, the nigga had to get a new bike, man.
God. I was just about to say that. Lord, fuck this bike up, man.
Yeah, Lord, the king of terror.
Come on, brother.
You better be careful.
Yeah, brother.
You don't know who you playing with.
God, you can get it. Come on.
Just backing up, like us being like angry, we aren't supposed to like let that get us out of our character to sin, or like put ourselves in a bad predicament.
Right.
This is Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. Yeah, backing up the point, it's like you gotta walk away from certain situations. You just gotta use wisdom at the end of the day, really. Then you wouldn't be put in those bad situations. You could get up out of it.
And that's the importance of wisdom. Hold on, that Matthew 5 and 25. So with the wisdom, the Lord teach us, through the scriptures to use righteous guile, to be able to get yourself out of situations. All right. And I forget the other one, but roughly paraphrasing, leaving the ministry blameless.
Yeah.
But
the ministry be not accurate.
God, for sure. But it's not all about you, Jake. All right. It's not all about you. When these situations go down. All right. If you find yourself in a fucked up situation, all right, you need to analyze that. All right. Maybe I'm at the club. Maybe I probably done sipped a little bit too much, and all right, I got these niggas that trying to fuck over me right now. What is the smartest thing to do? Leave. Get out of there. All right. Live to fight another day. Right. That don't mean just go in there and just try to take on 7 niggas and fight for your pride. You gotta use that wisdom and knowledge that the Lord gives us and get out of that situation the best way you can.
I was gonna say, like, Satan plays upon these people's emotions.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta realize, you gotta look at it from a spiritual perspective. That could be Satan fucking with you.
It definitely is.
It is. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Satan is using one of his devices right there, which is other niggas that has no dealing with the Lord. So that's easy money. But now he's using them to try to get to you. All right, because you're the prize, you're the big fish that Satan is trying to conquer. But
I was just gonna say, but even then, on a bigger scale, that's the Lord using Satan to put that against you. So
right.
It's like really the Lord. You gotta think about it.
Yeah, the test you. The test you. You wanna say something?
Because wisdom, we operate utilizing wisdom. That gets us out of situations. Mm-hmm. You're in bad situations where you put yourself there, but now you gotta apply the wisdom, all right, to get yourself out of it. You see? But go ahead, brother.
I think we got a precept pretty much backing up using wisdom to get out of the situation. It says, Proverbs 15:1, it says, a soft answer turned away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. Not everything needed, to be physical. You can also use soft words. You know, get yourself out of situation. You know, everything doesn't have to be, you know, throwing rocks and stones. You know.
Back that up too. This that that I'm gonna bring out that Matthew. Bring it
Well,
back point again.
Yeah, make your point again. Somebody behind you.
You know, let me get the.
Yeah, just read the precept.
This is Proverbs 15:1, and it says, "The soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger." And I was basically saying, like, you know, not everything has to be throwing rocks and stones, you know, or you just, you know, going up there all wild, and you know, you could just, you know, calm it down, tell them some soft answers, to just get out there. Not everything has to be carnal.
Yeah. And brothers speak on as more when we talk about the righteous God, right? It's okay to use God with niggas in this world, heathen in this world. That's a gift that the Lord gives us, and we're allowed to do. The one thing that you don't use God on, you don't use a God on your brother. All right, you don't deceive your brother in any type of way. You know, we keep it 144,000 with each other around here. All right, but when it comes to these devils, whatever, man, brother, if you have to lie to get yourself out of that situation, lie away, brother.
Get at it.
Lie. And they got another one too, but they're reading the GNLT, make an excuse to get around stupid people. I'm a find it. You got it, brother. Which ones?
And then, you know, you got to use, you know, righteous God for our people, because, you know, they stiff-necked. You know, these people are ignorant. You tell them one thing, you know what I'm saying, they blow it over their head and go for your neck for something that's so simple, you know. But that's all.
Demonic ass niggas.
That's it.
Get that Matthew. Let's get that Matthew out the way.
This is Matthew chapter 5, verse 25. Agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison.
God. All right, and this could fall in a situation if you're dealing with the police or so, you know, dealing with any type of altercation. All right, agree with them quickly. Oh yeah. Take what they say. Take the high road.
That's it.
You know, this is the time that you take a high road. All right, if it's dependent on yourself going to jail, and then we're gonna get this with leave the ministry blameless.
That's it.
If you're doing these things, you taking that high road to get away from it. Again, that's helping you live to fight another day, but it's also exercising your wisdom, which the Lord has given us. All right, so
registration.
but the Lord has given the light. The Lord has given us, you know, these gifts to be able to fight, you know, these things, you know. But let's get that precept about the show. Well, however you want.
I'm bringing a precept on this thing, you know, I got a
Kai.
bit of time. It's 2 Corinthians 6:3. Yes, bro. Giving no offense in anything, that the ministry be not blamed, but in all things, approving ourselves as the ministers of the Most High, in much patience, in afflictions, in necessities, in distresses, in stripes, in imprisonments, in tumults, in labors, in watchings, in fastings, by pureness, by knowledge, by long suffering, by kindness, by the Holy Spirit, by love unfeigned, by the word of truth, by the power of the Most High.
Well, I did not know that precept was that long.
Yes, brother. That's what we need.
It definitely do. But you know, the point I want to harp on is leaving the ministry blameless. You know, I mentioned to the point of it's not all about you, Jacob. All right, so imagine if you go do some stupid shit, you go catch a body, you know, you go beat the shit out of all these people, and you make the news, and then all of a sudden they do their research and it comes back to, oh, he's with the Hebrew Israel. Well, not even, he's with the black Israelites that be on the block.
BHI.
Yeah, BHI. He's with them that do this and that and the third, and oh, they hate white people. They hate this. They hate, and it's gonna build a whole case on innocent brothers. You know, so now the brothers gotta go through some shit just because some stupid shit that you did. All right, so that's why when you go through situations like that, that's the first thing that needs to come first to your mind. All right, what's the easiest way for me to just completely get out of this situation unharmed? You know, that should be your very, very first thought. All right, like it shouldn't even come to a thought of your mind of like, all right, I'm just about to blast my way out this bitch. You know, that's that's a mindset of a nigga. All right, and we are not niggas, man. We are men of the Lord. You know, holy. We separate from all of these doings of these niggas, man. So with simple things like that, which is not so simple to people, but for us it should be simple. Simple things like that is something that ultimately is something that we have to, you know, keep on to our mind, you know, at the end of the day. But Romans, yeah. Carnally minded. We're gonna get that after the one.
All right, this is Romans chapter 8, verse 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace.
Life and peace. All right. To be carnally minded is death. All right. So if your first, again, I just mentioned the first thing that comes to your mind is that I just gotta shoot my way out of this. I gotta fight my way out of this. I gotta do all these carnal things to get out of this situation. It's gonna fuck you up at the end of the day, you know, and fuck up the body. But what you want to do is the spiritual thing that's going to lead to peace. All right. And, you know, obviously, you know what's going to happen when you go through that situation and you take the spiritual role of it, you know, because it didn't happen to Jake many times. The first thing you do is when you get back to the house, you think in your head when Satan started fucking with you, you're like, man, I should have fucked them niggas up. I should have did that. Why I did that? I wish I would have did that. Now you getting tormented by Satan, you know, because now he's playing in your mind, telling you that, oh man, you a bitch. You a bitch. You should have fought. You should have did this. But those the thoughts that you gotta erase and stay spiritual minded. You know, because at the end of the day, you did the correct thing. You did the right thing to get out of that situation, and that's gonna continue to put you on a route for what it says at the end of that that path of peace and everlasting life. All right, that's why it's important to be spiritually minded in all things that we do. You know,
Yeah, brought out the Romans 12, 18.
Earlier.
Yeah, that he brought out. Yeah,
I got a little more. This is verse 7. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God. For it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please God.
So they that are in the flesh cannot please the Lord. All right? And what it said, read the part about enmity.
Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God.
It's not subject to the law of God. So if you're doing things with enmity, all right, which the Lord ultimately just hates it, all right, it's something against the Lord, that's what you don't want to be doing, all right? Because basically what the Lord is telling you right there is that I didn't teach you to do that, all right? You're going ahead and you're going on your own whim, you know, listening to what Satan is telling you to do, and you're not listening to what I'm telling you to do, you know? So you don't want to fall in the hands of the devil when it comes to Salaki. You don't want to fall in the hands of Satan, you know, in these situations. You know, you got to gird up your loins, like Brother say, and continue to make the next play. You know, continue to keep on pushing and keep on moving. And that Job's still going to have to come out, too. You're going to have to get the integrity of things. But you got a precept, bro.
Yeah.
You got one too, man?
It's Matthew 10 and 16. It says, Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Yeah, so we got to use that wisdom. We got to use that wisdom like a serpent. So we got to be what? We got to be cunning. We got to be crafty. We got to know how to utilize that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to get ourselves in and out of situations and to keep ourselves from getting into situations in the first place, man. And it says, and harmless as doves. So that's basically, we just using that wisdom as a defense.
Yeah. And what's the attributes of a snake? They blend in. They quiet. They're not here making they subtle.
That's why I said that, using that wisdom to what? Being able to get in and out of situations, right? And to keep you from getting into situations of bad predicaments in the first place.
Yeah,
crafty, cunning.
We got to get that now, Deshaun. It just clicked. We talked about this.
That's weird, though.
count for you.
Yeah, yeah.
I do that count.
That's one of my favorite ones.
Yes, brother. It's 1 Samuel 21.
Yeah.
And yes, brother. I knew it. I'm gonna start at 10. Get the meat off the bone, man.
Let's get it.
1 Samuel 21 and 10. And David arose and fled that day to fulfill Saul, and went to Achish, the king of Gath. And the servants of Achish said unto him, Is not this David, the king of the land? Did they not sing one to another of him in dances, saying, Saul has slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s? So they like, yo, that's David.
Everybody been talking
Yeah,
about.
that's the word. He killing 10,000 of men. You know? It said, and David laid up these words in his heart and was so afraid of Achish and king of Gath, right? We know David, he was a mighty man, brother. Like he wasn't like, man, he could have slew the whole city,
Right.
you know? But it says, but
No, brother, you just mentioned that they got songs about him.
Yeah.
They got songs about him, and they singing the songs of him being above King Saul when it
Yeah.
comes to killing.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
and when he heard it, he was like, oh shit.
They know me.
They know, yeah, they know. Like, it's not saying he was afraid of the king. No, he was afraid because you know you get that feeling like fuck, like they knew who I am. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, damn, they're gonna try to do something, right? So this is the example of using wisdom. Go ahead.
And also, you know, because it said he was fleeing Saul, right?
Yep.
So he's using wisdom again at this time because David had the obviously the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, the fear that he wasn't going to kill his king.
Yeah.
Saul was over David, so he used his wisdom in you know things that he needed to get away from the situation to the best of his ability. Because again, he most likely could have just killed Saul.
Yeah.
Saul trying to come and kill me, oh, I'm gonna kill you. But no, David with his morals and the things that he knew that he had to do, he just walked away from the situation. And now we at this point.
He refused to touch the Lord's anointed.
Yeah,
The Lord anointed Saul to be king. He's like, man, I'm not touching him. Right. The Lord anointed him to be the king.
Right.
You know, he proved it to him too when he tore that piece off his garment.
Yeah.
He said, I could have did was touch not my anointing. Do my prophets no wrong. I'm a king, whatever, you know.
God.
1 Samuel 21 and 12. And David laid up these words in his heart and was so afraid of Achish, the king of Gath. And he changed his behavior before them and feigned himself mad in their hands and scrabbled on the doors and let his spittle fall upon his beard. Then, I'm going to read it in the NLT. I'm going to read it through. I'm going to read it back in the NLT. It says, Then said Achish unto his servants, Lo, you see the man is mad. Wherefore then have ye brought him to me? Have I need of a madman, that ye have brought this fellow to play the madman in my presence? Shall this fellow come into my house? Like, fuck you bring this nigga here for? You know? So the NLT, verse 13, it says, So he pretended to be insane, scratching on the doors and drooling down his beard. Jake, wow, brother.
Went all out. He was clouded.
No, he went all out, brother.
Yeah, he sure did.
It's funny. It's funny as shit because I got an account like that of my personal life. I have to do something like that. like literally, but I never told nobody that story. But it's some, it's some of the funniest shit. But you know, I didn't know what to do in the situation. I just acted retarded. Like it's stupid, bro. Like not to the excess of Dave drooling from the mouth, but Jake know how to act stupid. When it's time to act stupid, bro.
That righteous God, bro.
Righteous God. Come on, that's it. Like,
Verse 14, it says, King Achish said to his men, Why must you bring me a madman? We already have enough of them around here. Why should I let someone like this be my guest?
You know, the moral of the story, David did what he needed to do to go ahead and get through that situation, man. You know, using that righteous God, you know, which we kind of beaten in that point, you know. But it's going to come to that, all right? It's going to, we talking about on levels of dealing with just 2/3 in the world, but Jake, you got to imagine, brother, we're going to have to do this when JT hit. You know, it's going to be times when in the midst of JT, when shit really hit the fan, and they looking for this guy who was with the Israelites, and he was doing this and he was doing that, and I think that you fit the description. Yeah, and at that point, hey, I don't know what you're talking
You know,
about.
what the hell you talking
I
about,
don't,
man?
I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're talking about, and go ahead and use that yike quad and get out of that situation.
Oh, you can just tell them, look, yeah, I understand. I know exactly who you're talking. He went that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell him get away,
Right.
man, and you go the other way.
Yeah, that's come on, man.
Yeah.
And we know and got the faith too that the Lord is going to fix the words that's going to come out your mouth regardless. All right. So however that situation is going to be, whatever the Lord put in your mind for you to do, like I said, we already brought it out. Giving you your instructions and your dreams when you sleep. All those things is already written and is going to be said when the time comes. But you got to have the faith. That the Lord is going to do these things for you. So you want to say something?
I'm just gonna say like that's why it says in backing that up. That's why it says in the precept Isaiah 33 and 6, wisdom and knowledge from this time.
That's it.
So we only have to use that in those times.
You know, and just in general, just backing up your point, we're gonna have to use it. In these times that you know it's something that we have to exercise. Right now, you could just say that we're training right now. All right, we're training, and I mentioned it a couple camps ago. When it gets to game time, everything that you've been practicing, it has to be executed. Executed to the T. It's not no time to make no mistakes because you're supposed to have been making your mistakes right now. This is where you make your mistakes at. This is where you have your brain farts and you try to get past and do the things to continue to gain and learn more. And this is the learning ground. All right. But once the proving ground starts, that's when it's time to work. You want to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say in training, that's where you made your mistake. Because when you think about the NBA, they could, you don't have to necessarily give you all in the regular season of, you're gonna have your slip ups or whatever like that in the regular season, but when the playoffs come, nah, it ain't really time to be making mistakes because you could be out of there like that. Everybody playing, the stakes is high, so it's not time to make mistakes. When it really matters, man, when it really counts. So you make your mistakes, it's the regular season and not willingly, but you just got to be more sharper, when it really matters the most.
Right. You know, doing it when it really counts, like the brother just said. All right, but that doesn't mean, you know, disregard your practice, disregard your studies. That don't mean just cast that away, for you to think that you want to perform good. Like we were just talking about it. You talking about with the seeds, they want to chill and bullshit when it comes to things, but when it's time, and think that he could just get up and perform when it's time to perform. Nah, who's going to perform better? The person that's been there studying and doing all the things, right? Rehearsing, the practicing, all the things, consistent. All of these things that he's doing to get up and perform. Or do you think the person that's been chilling, laying down, playing a game, not worrying about nothing, if he's worried about something, it's bullshit? You think that he's going to get up and perform on a high level? And that's not the case, you know. And we witnessed that, through high school and stuff like that. We seen some of the men that growing up with them, they wasn't on the level of the star athletes on the team. All right, but when those star athletes started getting complacent, all right, and started to get prideful for what the things that they know they knew how to do, they have been surpassed by the men that was working behind the scenes. These men that's making it to the league, that's a lot of them was not men that was just complete 5-star players. They was unknown, but they had a 5-star work ethic. All right, and that's the mindset that we need to have in this thing. We need to have that 5-star work ethic. So when it's time to play the game, that we could show ourselves to be that 5-star.
Right. Just like brother say all the time, with the pop quizzes, right? Hey, the real test, the exam to pass or fail is getting ready to come, man. Yep. And what you've been doing, you've been bullshitting, you ain't been practicing, you ain't been studying, you ain't been being prudent. It's gonna show in the times to come, man. Because like we spiritual preppers, man. We not carnal preppers. We prep with the scriptures, man. Because like the brother Kaya always say, one day this is just gonna have to be in you, man.
Right.
All right? They say wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of our time.
Yep.
But it only can keep us stable if it's in us.
Right.
You see?
Yep.
So it's going to show you've been bullshitting. Right? They going to sit at home, be comfortable, put their hand behind their head, put their feet up. Well, all right, I'm about to watch the camp today. You know? You being comfortable, man. You know? The time is short for the last little bitty whoever's out there to be sealed, man. You know? The time is coming. Hey, man, it ain't much left for us to do.
Hey, man, that Ernst, man, sending them soldiers through D.C. right now.
Yeah,
It's only a matter of time before it's a city near you.
A city near you, man. That's right, brother. Yeah.
Esau getting ready to use that sword. You got to get prepared. The door of repentance is closing.
Yes, brother.
Make you ready for the battle. And those evil. He has figures upon the earth.
You're sitting back, brother.
So it's all good. Everybody good. So we pray that this live camp was edifying. Trying to get out of here. We're going to give infinite honors and prayers too.
Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Kabbadash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS who taught us the truth. Peace and salutations to the hopefully elect. You Akim, you Aquas, brothers and sisters in Hebrew that believe. In the Baba Ba,
Baba Ba,
Baba Ba,
Baba Ba,
Baba Ba,
Baba Ba.
Baba Ba.
Shalom.